don't have. I really need to get on that.
It's now recording.
You're recording.
I am recording.
You're recording. Don't have. I really need to get on that.
It's now recording.
You're recording.
I am recording. Whoa.
You're recording. Don't have. I really need to get on that.
Whoa. That's
Echo,
weird.
echo, echo,
That's
echo,
weird.
echo.
That was weird. That was very
Because
strange.
it's because I turned my sound up too to test it,
Okay.
and then yours was playing, and then
Okay.
it was behind, and it was like a weird echo feedback loop. It was
Jordan.
very strange.
Jordan. Are
Justin,
you and I getting pizza after this?
I mean, I could go for some pizza.
All right. You and I are getting pizza because I kind of want pizza. Okay. Get.
I could be talked into pizza.
I could be persuaded into some pizza.
Now I have
Three,
something to look forward to.
2, 1. Whoa. 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you'd like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARTE media.org. Jordan, on with the show?
Yeah.
We're doing the thing, Jordan. We're playing the feud. Welcome, as always, to he, that is they, that is thee, that is them. We are they. We are the Men in Black, but we're also the Spur of the Moment podcast, and we're here this Sunday, a little late, but still here.
Yeah, so late that I'm able to give the audience an extra gift of an extra movie, which is one of yours.
It's a whole.
It's a real
It's a whole extra.
it's a real
movie.
whole thing.
It's a whole extra movie. On today's show, we have the news. As always, we have the news, and on the news, there's a weird cameo in Bel-Air. More about that Netflix deal. Spider-Verse character confirmed. Supergirl trailer.
Oh, there was a Supergirl trailer. I feel like I should have watched
Oh
that.
no, I think that's one of the trailers I forgot to send you. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh well, I guess
Oh well.
you'll just have to describe it to
Yeah,
me
we
like
have
it's
to
one of your French girls.
describe it to you on the fly. We have an Animal Farm trailer. We have footage of Stuart Saves the Universe Street Fighter trailer, Avatar trailer, footage from the Santa Claus Kills Nazis, Bel-Air cameo. What
I'm
Just
sorry,
Like Dark was
what?
gonna be about. Ted, Spider-Verse, all kinds of news. And then later, you've all tuned in because you heard it was Jordan's birthday, and that
Soon.
Jordan's birthday.
Not today. Not today, but
Jordan's
soon.
birthday. Jordan's birthday means that Jordan gets to pick the episode, and he picked an episode, and you're gonna find out what that is by staying tuned till later when you'll find out what that is. Don't worry, Jordan's gonna tell us what it is. He's gonna tell us. He knows. He knows what it is.
And
He's gonna tell
I
us.
definitely knew.
He-
It was, yeah.
He's
Yep.
picked a topic right for us. We're gonna find out.
It was
Mystery
well
will
thought out.
be-
It was
will be
it was it was
revealed.
it was well thought out. There was a lot of reasoning behind it. I put deep integral thought into
And
it.
you'll find out what that is at the end of the
Soon.
news. So let's start off with some trailer, Jordan. No, actually, before we do the trailers, you know what? Let's do a real brief comment response time because there were some really funny comments, and Jordan, while I open up the comments, Ali left a comment that blew my mind on our video for The Devil's Advocate, where she said that why did my parents let me watch this movie? And I know her parents. Why did your parents let you watch this movie, Ali? I don't
It's a
understand.
good it's a good question.
A lot of your parents are the reason why I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons for many years. You're telling me to let you watch The Devil's Advocate? So many
I
questions.
just feel like they didn't know what the Devil's Advocate was about.
They know. It was one of those they're like, it's got Neo in it. It'll be
It's
fine.
lawyers. It's a lawyer
It's a lawyer
movie.
movie until the last 10 minutes of it. And then once again, oh, I know, a really interesting comment on our video about the twist of Empire Strikes Back, and how we were like, at the time, you would have never guessed that twist. And according to a comment left by Armdar. He said, I'm going to read the whole thing. It's kind of long, but it was very interesting. He said, I remember reading in a magazine speculation that that Vader was Leia's father. Sorry, hold on. Let's try this again. I remember reading in a magazine speculation that Vader was Leia's father before Empire was released. Someone had speculated that Darth Vader really meant Dark Father, want to say in German. And the, quote, logical conclusion was it was referring to her since she was the one he interacted with the most. Don't know, it's been a moment, and I was young, so I didn't know he was Luke's father, but I suspected he was Leia's and was surprised when he wasn't. And double surprised later on when he was. Which is interesting.
It makes sense. Yeah, Vader, I believe in German. Vader is
Yeah, well, that's a
father.
joke in which movie? Pitch Perfect, where she's like, yeah, it's really obvious. Vader in German means father, and I just wouldn't have figured that fandom interacted in that way back then, but I guess it did. So I was like, oh, that's really quite interesting. And
I mean,
then
it really is a case study of the more things change, the more they stay the same.
it really is. Oh, I'm sorry, my cord is all tangled up.
Well, I mean, clearly what you need to do is just cut the cord.
Entertain for audience for 30 seconds while I fix this.
Justin, I'm dying here. Okay, well, I think that was like 10 seconds. Justin, how's it going over there, Justin? Justin, can you hear me? Justin, did you unplug your headphones so that you can can you hear
I
me?
can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
That
Because
was
that
that
was
was
getting
really tangled up for some stupid reason. It was preventing me from moving my head. That was really
I
annoying.
think you've clicked something which is creating some sort of writing on screen.
Oh, it says it's telling it that my microphone settings have changed.
Oh.
Oh, okay. No, it's telling my microphone. There we go.
Um, what were we talking about?
Uh, what were we talking about? We're talking about comments. We're reading some comments, and then
Right.
once again, go away. Once again, proving that the most toxic fandom is probably the Star Wars one. We got several comments on our Five Nights at Freddy's review, all of which ended with the people being reasonable. My favorite comment was the guy who the interaction. I went, he's like, oh, I hate how everyone's just blindly hating on this movie, and I went, well, did you actually watch the video? Because honestly, our take was quite nuanced, and we were like, we love this movie, but with an asterisk. And
Yeah.
his response was, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something akin to, oh man, I'm sorry, I've been having kind of a
I
bad
just had a
week.
really bad
I've been
week,
having
you know.
a bad day at work, and I took it out on you, and that's not fair to you. And man, that's more than the Star Wars fans ever did for us. So cool, that was cool. Really appreciated that.
Um,
That was really funny.
that's great.
It
Because
was
yeah,
all of them
I
being
mean,
like, "What do you mean
two
it's
things can
bad?" I'm
be
like, "It's a bad screenplay."
two things can be true at once. You can acknowledge that and I saw another game theory thing which kind of touched on it a little bit. It has everything to do with the writing method of Scott Cawthon, where he basically is the type of writer where he's not a planner. He doesn't pre-plan things.
But he
He
pretends he
pulls it out.
does.
He pulls it out while he goes along. Like Scott Cawthon describes his writing style as basically he has a rope which has a plot idea on it, and he'll keep pulling on that rope to see where it leads him.
And then Jordan.
That's how he describes how he writes. So that's coming from Scott Cawthon himself.
And then Jordan. Jordan meant Catwoman. I know it was a short clip, but Jordan meant Catwoman. I don't
I
remember
meant
what
I
he.
meant I meant
He
Catwoman.
meant Catwoman.
I think I said Black Cat.
Yeah, you said Black Cat. He meant Catwoman. But to be fair,
I
I think
meant
immediately
Catwoman.
after that clip cuts off, you correct yourself.
I
That's
think
it.
I
That's it
no,
for
I think
comments.
technically you correct me, and then I'm like, no, yeah, that is what I meant.
There's also a really funny. Hold on, let me see if I can quickly pull it up. There's quite a funny. I know I said no more TikTok comments, but there was a funny
Oh,
TikTok comment we got.
thank you, thank you, Haley. Haley says, "Happy birthday week, Jordan." Thank you.
Hold on, let me just quickly
Yeah, that's coming
see.
up. When is that? 4 days from now.
Four,
God, it's 4 days from now. Jeez,
4 days from
Thursday.
now, and you're gonna
I think it
be.
is 35.
Oh yeah, someone on TikTok said
Oh,
that as someone who grew up in Calgary in the 1990s, that uh sorry,
Which one is this on?
this was on our oh, my totally blank.
The
Shit.
one where you're talking about Eddie the Eagle or the bobsled one?
Bobsled. That was it. That was it. The bobsled one. He said that he, as a person who grew up in Calgary in the 90s, he can confirm it was a mostly white city. And I said, fair enough.
All right, fair enough.
I did not live there. And then on our
Makes
one of our
sense. You know, it is basically the Texas of Canada.
it makes sense. And then one of our comments on our short about the Netflix Warner Brothers deal was just, guess who's winning this year's inaugural Netflix Peace Prize? I said, that's a solid, solid singer. Solid. I was like, that's funny. That's good. It's clever. Okay, that's enough comments. It's time to do the news. Jordan, give me some news theme. Yeah, I completely forgot to send you the Supergirl trailer. Um,
You know, the funny thing is I saw that came out, and it was one of those. I was like,
you should have
I need
watched
to,
it, you
I need
idiot.
to. Well, no, but what I wanted to do, because I always do this where I watch it in the beginning of the week and then I forget it.
I did the
So
same
like
thing.
I was trying to leave it for the like later in the week, and then I just completely
I
forgot
meant to
about
send
it.
it to you, and then it was on the list of trailers. I meant to in vibe. I'll send it to you later. Maybe we'll punt this till next week then, but the short version, the vibe of it is very Guardians of the Galaxy. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
Hmm.
She's
That makes sense because of
she's
the
it
James.
carries on her storyline from when she showed up in
Where she's a party girl.
well, she's a party girl, but she's an angry drunk because
Yeah.
she's drinking because of the trauma of losing her planet and whatnot. There's it's not, the trailer doesn't give you much of what it's about. Who's the bad guy really? You see Lobo very briefly, and he looks badass. Like, he looks
Dope.
great. He looks dope. He looks like Lobo. It's great, but you only see him for a very short time. So I'm guessing it's gonna be a thing of like they fight for a bit and they team up against the bad thing.
Probably.
It's not really doing anything for me, but that's not entirely fair because I'm just not really that into Supergirl. I'm way more into Superman. So like, not to say I don't appreciate her. It's just they've never really done anything all that interesting with her. So like, hey man, this might be the first.
For me, growing up as a young teenage boy who was a boy and, was a boy,
Yeah.
I appreciated Supergirl as an extension of Superman.
Yeah, which is probably not great, but I'm sure.
I'm not saying it is. That's why I'm
Oh yeah,
making
you gotta
it
remember,
clear.
12-year-old boy.
Like
12-year-old boys suck.
I was a young boy. I was a boy.
It's important that you,
so,
for the purposes of this conversation, remember that 12-year-old to 13-year-old boys suck. They
yeah.
suck a lot, and they have bad opinions on things.
So, there was definitely, as a young boy, there was definitely aspects of Supergirl I appreciated.
It's probably a good way to put it. Yeah, as a 12-year-old to whatever year old teenage boy, I saw her as an extension of him. The only Supergirl story I like, they already made a movie of, which is the Superman Batman Apocalypse one. That's really the only one I like. That's the only time she's ever been interesting to me. So like, this just didn't make me go, I'm really stoked for this. I'll see it.
That's where
I'll talk about it here. We'll probably watch it for the show. But it doesn't.
That's where I say, yeah. To me, she's always been just an extension of much like because to be fair, much like Nightwing to me is just an extension of Batman.
Yeah, I wouldn't exactly. Yeah, that's probably a less sexist way to put it. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily be interested. Nightwing is maybe a bad example, but a Robin movie, yeah, I'm always like,
yeah.
If Batman's not there, I'm not really interested. And then they
but
keep
I just
making
mean
shit with
I
Robin
just
that doesn't
mean in
involve
terms.
Batman. So what do I know?
I just mean in terms of like. Also, I should say, I also mean in terms of like to me, Supergirl is always like she's the generation after Superman.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she's the next part of him. She's the thing that follows. Even though technically, canonically, she's older, but yeah.
In that CW show, there's a guy on YouTube who I used to respect called Movie Bob, and he said that the Supergirl CW show, she's basically just Superman in a dress. So she's not really Supergirl. I'm not enough of a fan of her to really be all that feel one way or the other. There's a lot of people on the internet who are big mad about it and hate it, and I haven't really seen anyone get overly enthused about it. I need to see another trailer. I mean, we'll come back.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then I sent this to you because I was just gonna send you pictures of this, but in the trailer I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, and it was just an HBO Max trailer, and you got to see the only thing worth talking about in it, which I'm sure other people are gonna disagree with me on that, but the only thing worth talking about in it is that Big Bang Theory spinoff, and the reason why I think it's interesting is it looks like Young Sheldon. It looks like it's a single camera sitcom like Young Sheldon,
The
and not a multi-camera. No, it's a multi-camera. It looks like it's Young Sheldon, not like Big Bang Theory. Is the point? And I think that's
yeah,
interesting.
I get what you're saying, but it looks darker than that though too.
Yeah, which I'm
Um,
okay with. That's interesting. Again,
so
I'm
I
intrigued by
saw
this.
I saw one comment or whatever, which was like, what would be cool, is if they started the show in the Big Bang Theory style, and it doesn't change until he breaks the machine, and
Yeah,
that's when the
that
style
would be
changes
rad. My
to
only
really
thing,
reflect the fact that it's supposed to be a multiversal story.
my only thing with this is, I mean, unless
And
they're
like
gonna
what you
do
could do is like you could have it be like, yeah, if they're going through different universes, you can have it where each universe is like a different filming style,
that would
and
also be
that
rad.
would be interesting.
My question is, because if you're doing a multiverse thing, variants, right? So like number one, like from the
I'm
moment
assuming there
I
will
was
be some,
intrigued from
yeah.
the moment I heard the premise, but I'm even more intrigued now. It being on HBO Max tells me it might come to Crave, so we might get it here. Um, but my big question is, well, obviously,
It might be under Stars. It
you,
might go to Disney Plus
you might like
because I
maybe
think Star or not Stars, the Hulu, because I think Hulu, I seem to
maybe
remember they have Big Bang
because
Theory stuff, or it was Friends
Big
stuff.
Bang Theory was on Crave at one point, but anyway.
No, I'm saying on Disney
Oh, maybe. But
because I
variants
think it
like
is now.
Stuart, Leonard, and Sheldon. Because the premise of this is they break Leonard's machine, so that tells me that the original cast members are gonna
I think it
probably
says
come
that it's
back, right?
Leonard's and I think it says that it's Leonard's and Sheldon's
Like,
machine.
are they gonna get back? Are they gonna get back Kaylee Kuko? Are they gonna get back Jim Parsons? Are they gonna get back the guy who plays Leonard? Because I can't remember his actual name, and I feel bad about
Some of
that.
them, yeah, I imagine, yeah.
In
If
some
this,
form,
I think
or are
I
they
would
gonna do
say
a
like
thing?
they probably would agree to come back if it interests them, and this sounds
Does that
interesting.
sound interesting? My thing is like, are they going to do like a quantum leap thing where every episode he goes to a new universe and it's a revolving cast and it's just different variants and they look nothing alike?
Could
I
be.
think that would
I
also be
mean,
fun because then you could bring in big name celebrity cameos to play like their version of Sheldon for an episode. Like that'd be kind of interesting.
I would definitely, if I had, like I said, if I had it my way, I would have it where each episode is, yeah, it's a quantum leap thing. I don't know about different casts, but certainly different worlds in each one. So like basically, you know how they with Archer they did the seasons
Yeah.
of the dreams and stuff. Basically, do the quantum universe version of that, where
My
it
thing
can
is just
be
like
it can be each episode it can be a different style and a different world and a different like
I just
one's a pirate theme, one's a space theme,
I
one's
just
a
don't want it to be a
this
thing.
is how you can get away with that.
I just don't want it to be a thing where it's like it's constantly like, oh hey Sheldon, and he's like just constantly
He's
off.
off
Yeah, oh, I
screen.
would
Yeah,
hate
no,
that.
don't do
I
that.
would
Don't do
hate
that.
that. I would hate that so bad. But yeah. So I was like, when you were like, there's not nothing in there worth talking about. I'm like, no, it's interesting that it doesn't look like the big. Because I thought maybe it was gonna be like a George and Mandy, where it's a single camera sitcom. But it's more of a traditional sitcom, but it's not, and that's intriguing to me. That tells me that there's going to be more drama to this than the title would suggest. Yeah, it's fun. It's so okay. Next, you said this when I asked you if you'd seen this trailer, and that was the first thing I said about this trailer, this Animal Farm trailer, which is immediately this seems to completely miss the point of Animal Farm.
That's what my opinion would
Just
be.
completely misses it, flat out. And I
It's
saw
just
someone say, "Is this supposed to be like okay? It's modern, so now it's a critique of capitalism." But it's like, but no, it's very specifically. Why would you not make this faithful? It's very specifically about the rise and of the USSR, specifically the USSR, not even
that's
just
yeah.
communism, but like the USSR, and what the pigs are the good guys now.
It is
What
a
is
very
happening?
specific metaphor, like
Right?
that book or not metaphor, but like allegory, whatever. Like the intention of that story is very specific,
Like it looks like them
and
looking
deviating from it just completely changes it.
right.
Like it's not Animal Farm
It
anymore.
looks like
It's not.
they're teaming up with the. I just realized I forgot. Sorry. It looks like them teaming
Like
up with the humans is part of the plot, and that just doesn't happen in the
Well, it
book.
does. It
But
does.
like at the
It
very
does.
end,
At the very end, when like or partway through, basically, yeah. I mean, it does, but not quite as on the scale. It's just they've ramped up the scale. It's Animal Farm by way of like I don't even want to say Pixar because Pixar wouldn't do this bad. Disney, I guess, maybe, or
maybe
um Illumination, or
Illumination.
that's not who I'm thinking of. The ones who did why am I blanking? Universal? No. Ones who did like Prince of Egypt.
Oh,
Those
DreamWorks.
ones. DreamWorks, yeah. It's like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
screams DreamWorks to me.
it does. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It
Um
looked. It was like this. Just I. This looks bad. This looks
it just
bad.
doesn't well, it's not that it looks bad. I don't agree with that. I think if you put a different name on it, it would look like
I suppose that's
a
true.
generic kids movie. It's because they've put Animal Farm on it. It's not Animal Farm, and as adults, that's sticking out in our brains. Is it's just I've seen
Okay.
Animal Farm,
And this is
and this
not
is
Animal
not
Farm.
Animal Farm.
I.
I'm sure it'll be a forgettable, mediocre kids movie that we won't have strong feelings about. Our
Probably not.
strongest feeling walking out of that or after seeing it on streaming like God intended
Like God
will just
intended.
be like it was okay, it just wasn't Animal
That just
Farm.
was an Animal Farm. So Jordan, you know what I realized? I didn't plug in my
Telling
tablet when I came
telling
out
you
here.
now, telling you now that that's going to be what we say about it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Jordan,
What
trail.
what didn't you do?
I didn't plug in my tablet, so it means my tablet's gonna be dead after the show.
I mean, you could just temporarily take 5 seconds and go plug it
I
in.
suppose I could do that. Jordan, vamp for 5 seconds while I go plug that in. I'll
Um,
be right back, everybody. Here's Jordan giving you telling you why you should vote for us in the Arties and giving a sneak preview about future content that might be coming out around Christmas. But don't give
okay,
away too much. I'll be
I
right
could do
back.
that. So you should vote for us in the Arties because as our fans and people who watch our show, you want us to get a sick trophy, which Justin has previewed one before. But if you vote for us for podcast of the year, we get this dope wrestling belt, and I'd really like the dope wrestling belt. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe other people deserve it, maybe they don't. I'm not here to judge. I'm not one of the judges, but what I will say is I want that belt. So if you really want to give me something for Christmas slash my birthday, what you can do is go to the voting link, which is in the description below, and just vote down ballot for us. Except Haley did get goofy, so you can vote for her on that. I won't hold it against you. Also, it looks like I'm running out of time to talk to you about the sneak peek thing, but we also, um, you know, we did another
The Street
thing with
Fighter
our
trailer,
other.
Jordan. The Street Fighter
Okay.
trailer.
Well, that's all the sneak peek that you get about what we might have done, which wasn't very much because I mostly talked about voting for us.
Good. Good. Good, Jordan. Street Fighter movie dropped its first action-packed teaser trailer, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it looks kind of amazing.
Yeah, so I have to be honest. When I first saw that little bit of the Street Fighter stuff on TikTok, like earlier in the week, I just was filled with such an apathy. I
Really?
just
I think it
don't.
looks great. I think it looks really fun.
They look like the characters. I just don't care about Street Fighter.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still gonna
It
check this
doesn't.
out.
Oh, I'll still watch it. I'll probably watch it on streaming like God intended.
This one, I don't
But
know. This
like,
one, I would consider, depending on what else is out, I would consider watching it in theaters.
I need to see more of a story-based trailer.
But I the big the guy the fact that the characters look so much like the characters, like yeah, we've often say this where it's like sometimes a thing just you could be clever and you can be original and you can be artistic, but sometimes just look like the thing.
Yeah, no,
Just
absolutely.
look like the thing. And boy, how
And
did this just look like the thing?
I think for me, if I grew up a fan, like if this was Tekken,
Yeah,
then I would be more excited.
yeah.
But like I just don't. I wasn't a Street Fighter guy, so
Maybe
it
it's
doesn't
because I
really.
watched the first movie and it was bad. This looks so much like the
Maybe.
game. I like the characters more than I like the games themselves.
Like for me, it's just like I'm as excited for this. Actually, probably a little less, but like I'm as excited for this as I was when that Mortal Kombat, the other one, the first one or whatever.
I'm about
When
as
that
excited for this.
I'm about, yeah, same, which is to say like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, oh my God, I have to go watch this, and one being like, oh, I'll miss this. I'm like a 6.5.
That's
Like,
fair. I'm a solid. You said 6.5. Solid 7.5 to an 8. I would watch this. I would use a free pass to watch this in theaters.
it's the level of excitedness where it's like I would be okay missing it and watching it on streaming, but I'll go watch it with you because you want to watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it for content.
Like that's where I'm at. So it's like, yeah, I mean, boy howdy, they sure do look like the characters from the
Man, do
game,
they
but
look like the characters from the game?
more and more as we go on, that becomes less and less of a rarity.
Yeah, I know they really seem
So
that. But it's not even just that they look like the characters. It's like all of the. Well, I mean, to be fair, it could just be the trailers, but it's like the flair and the energy is very. It reminded me a lot, quite honestly, of Scott Pilgrim, which is weird because Scott Pilgrim.
reminds me more of Mortal Kombat.
I mean, yeah, but just the like all of the.
The modern one, I'm
Yeah,
saying, the one
well,
which
yeah.
looks like exactly like the game, and they do the moves from the game, and they have scenes which are just straight from the game, and so it's like there's a lot of reverence to the games, and same for this. It looks like there is, like, even when you see the car that they're
Yeah,
beating
you're
up
like, oh
on,
my
it's
god,
like,
they're
hey,
beating up the car.
I get that
I
reference, like, so I'm not gonna
understand that
say that
reference.
there's not a level of like, oh, hey, thing I recognize.
Yeah.
It just
Sometimes a thing can
ultimately,
just be a thing you recognize, and that's fine. And that's what this is.
yeah.
It's not aspiring to be anything more than that, and that is okay. That
So
is
I think
okay.
I think my ultimate summation of my feelings or my thoughts of this one is your excitement level is gonna vary depending on how much excitedness you
How
get
much
from,
you like Street Fighter? Yeah.
thing I
Yeah.
recognize, and it sure looks like Street
It
Fighter.
sure looks like Street Fighter. Jordan. So there was a trailer for Avatar Season 2 where they went, oh my god, the kids are gonna get
It's
older. We're
tough.
so screwed. And it's Toph. And she looks like Toph. I will say the
I don't
effect of
know.
her bending. I mean, look again. Is your standard that it looks like the thing? Because it looks like the thing. Costume
I
design looks
mean,
great.
it sure does look like the thing, but having watched the first season, it is not the thing.
Apparently,
It is a horrifying monster wearing the dead skin of the thing that you loved.
this one is going to apparently have no choice but to deviate. I want to say 2 year time skip.
Yeah, I just don't think I can. I don't think I
Uh,
can, even for content for this, unless it's an episode of things you hate. I just don't think I can.
talk now.
Talk now?
Okay. Okay, now it's working. No, I still can't hear you though. Yeti. Oh, I think I might have... Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay, that was weird. That was very
Okay.
strange.
I don't need to finish typing out that message then.
Where were we? Oh yes, we were talking. We're finishing up with...
We were talking about how I think that I suspect that the season 2 of Avatar will be just as not Avatar as the first season of live action Avatar.
It's true. Jordan.
Justin, can
Um,
you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you now. Jordan.
I teased a little bit of the fact that with our spur of the moment conversation, we may have another episode coming out soon.
Yeah, and they heard none of it because it's capturing my desktop and you're completely muted, so they heard none of it.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out when you go back and edit this.
So Jordan, they released 8 minutes of this movie called Silent Night, Deadly Night, where this guy, his parents get killed, and he decides to dress up as Santa, and do a murder, and he chooses to do a murder by murdering a bunch of Nazis, and I put this story in because I saw on Twitter. The worst
I mean,
place
if a
in the-
crazy person has to kill someone, I mean, I
might as
guess.
well be a group of Nazis. But they were like, I'm so tired of the trope that the Nazis are the bad guys, which made me go, fucking
But
what?
They are the bad guys.
But they are the bad guys.
So wait, it's trying to make you sympathize with the fact that the crazy
No,
Santa goes crazy and kills
Somebody
them?
on the internet was trying to make me sympathize with the guys who were killing, with the Nazis who were being killed by the guy who was killing Nazis.
Oh,
And I was
okay.
like, what? But they're Nazis. Also,
Nazis are bad.
I meant to do this at the top of the show, but Jordan, did you see? This is for Jake. Jordan, did you see John Cena's final match? The end of it.
I mean, no, I couldn't have seen John Cena's final match. You can't see him.
What? They did the final, and Jordan, he on his final.
Did I do it right?
You did. On his final match, Jordan, he lost to you know what? I'm not realizing that I have to explain too much of this for it to mean anything. I'll talk to Jake about it later. But the short version is, what was that? What was that? That's it. That's the short version.
Okay. All right.
Those who know.
So you see, in wrestling, there are things called heels and heroes.
Sure. Jordan.
I don't actually know much about what's currently going on in wrestling. I don't know why you thought I would know any of that.
I thought
This is this is embarrassing for you.
I thought TikTok might have told you. It was a pretty big deal.
No.
Jordan. So you know that show Bel-Air that we talk about that's really bad?
I mean, that we think is bad, but I'm sure somebody likes.
I'm sure
I don't
somebody
even know
does.
that I think that it's bad because I can't. I've learned from my mistakes. I can't say that. I've not watched it. I don't like it on its concept.
I've seen a lot of clips from it that make it look
I've caught-
bad, but yeah,
I've caught
you're right.
I've caught shit for that in the past. I can't blanket statement like that anymore. I have to be better.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
exist on the internet now.
You're right. I have not fully seen all of it, but all of the clips I've seen make it look bad. But in the final episode, Jordan, and I tried to figure out what the context of this was, but I saw a clip of it, a picture of it, where it's the guy who plays Will on Bel-Air and Will Smith, and they're together. And I was like, what? What? This has to be fake, right? This is AI? And then no, sure enough, in the final episode of Bel-Air, and I cannot find the context of this, but the Will Smith on that show meets actual Will Smith. And it's, I guess, according to this article, meant to be interpretable. Like, did he see future Will Smith? Did he not see future Will Smith?
Okay, that's confusing, but all
I
right.
know. Weird. Strange.
I don't even know how to react to that. It's just what? What the what?
What the what? Jordan, did you know that Guillermo del Toro, I hate his name, it's hard to pronounce.
Just maybe just refer to him as Mr. Del Toro.
Mr. Del Toro, he was
it's less embarrassing for all of us, Justin.
he was gonna make a Justice League Dark movie.
Didn't they already make Justice League Dark?
No, like a live action one. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
that was never going to get made because there's not enough people who know what that is.
And apparently he
It's not
wanted
Justin. That's not mainstream enough for DC to want to take it, for Warner Brothers to want to take a chance on it. Are you crazy?
uh so yeah, he wanted Doug Jones, the guy who plays Ape Sapien. He wanted him to be Dead Man, which that's pretty cool. Um
Doug Jones.
and I
The
always
man
love
who,
he played
man who what?
Ape Sapien in Hellboy.
Ape sapien.
He's also the Silver
Okay.
Surfer in Fantastic Four. Um
Okay. That's a clearer picture. Okay.
Um, it's so funny. So it says the 61-year-old director further disclosed the plot made absolute sense. Which, when someone says that, that immediately signals to me that it probably didn't make perfect
That
sense.
that there may have been some
There
confusion,
may have been some confusion there. So apparently, we
which
had
might be
the.
which might be why it didn't get made.
It might be. Apparently, we had the Floronic Man as one of the villains. It was really great because Swamp Thing was very fleshed out. He talked about how Batman would have been in it. So there was a moment where Batman came in briefly. We need a plane, and a friend of mine has a plane, and then you were in Bruce Wayne's office. That's how he would have done it. That sounds fun. So I guess it would have also, had Swamp Thing, and then who else is in Justice League Dark?
Constantine.
Constantine, probably, yeah. I wonder who would have played Constantine.
I wonder if they would have brought back Keanu Reeves to be Constantine.
Yeah, he said the screenplay was there and it was a couple years in development, and they never got it to art, but they had great set pieces. He said there was a chase sequence with Deadman jumping from one body to another. Oh, that's fun.
Hmm.
I would have been.
For some reason, when I picture Dead Man, I picture Deadpool.
Deadpool. The Deadman is what you know in Injustice.
No, I mean the actor who plays
Oh,
him. I'm just blanking on the name.
oh, Jordan.
I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. He's a really famous Canadian, and I should know his name. And it's right there on the tip of my
Ryan
tongue, and it's
Gosling.
embarrassing.
Ryan Reynolds.
No, Ryan Reynolds. That's it. I'm
Um,
picturing Ryan Reynolds as Dead Man.
so Jordan, there's an update.
I think it would. I think it would work.
I think it would work. Jordan, an update on that Netflix Warner Brothers dealio.
The bad choice you made.
The bad choice. We had a comment that was yeah, but the other option is even worse, and the other option is Paramount comes in and
I
David
mean,
Ellison gets it, and
that's also bad. Yes.
Trump gets control of CNN or whatever, and it's like yes, that is all exactly like he's just yes, that is also bad. Two things can be true at once.
Both
It
things can be bad at
both
once.
both
You can have two supervillains both vying for control of the same thing. Doesn't make one supervillain less of a supervillain just because there's another supervillain who also wants the thing that the supervillain wants. That's why they're supervillains.
Exactly. That thing that you just said, exactly. You nailed it. Got it in one sentence.
You blacked out, didn't you?
No,
You were just so filled with rage
no,
over the situation
no.
that
It is what you said is right. Two things can be true at once. You can have two supervillains want a thing and have both outcomes be bad. It's like which outcome is worse? I don't care. They're both bad. You should do
both
neither.
Both Joker and Lex Luthor can want the same thing.
How about neither? Neither.
Now, see, what you
Um,
should be concerned about is when the two supervillains team up and buy Disney and
that's
split up
when
the
you need to be
properties.
concerned. Jordan.
Let's team up and form our Justice League of Evil, and we'll take down the ultimate big bad guy, Disney.
Apparently, Jordan.
All
Uh,
hail the mouse.
Daniel Kaluuya, who plays Spider-Punk in the Spider-Verse movie, has confirmed that they are on the finishing stages of the first draft of a standalone Spider-Punk film. Which, cool. I'm cool with
I
that.
mean, I both am and am not surprised by that. I'm surprised that that's the first one they're doing.
Right?
Is Spider-Punk. I'm not surprised that they're making a spin-off. I am surprised that it's Spider-Punk.
I'm a little surprised at Spider-Punk. I mean, I can't believe that they haven't managed to get a Spider-Gwen movie off the ground.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, there's a lot of other ones that they could have done. That I'm not like I both am and I'm not like I'm kind of surprised that they didn't do like a cheap animated television show in the anime style and do a Penny Parker one.
Right? Jordan, you'll never guess what's coming back for
Just
season 2.
just as an example.
Jeez.
Season 2 of what?
of television. Season 2 is coming back
Of
for season 2 of the show. Join its Ted season 2, and it's
who cares?
I mean, I do. I like Ted. That show's funny. And
Me,
there's a picture I saw which made me go, oh, that's fun. And it's Brendan Lee
I
Mulligan, and they're playing
I
D&D
hold
with him.
I hold resentment towards that show because it stops the Orville from happening.
I mean, that I can't resent it. I like Ted too much. He's too funny of a character.
It's a waste. It's a
Cancel.
waste of Seth. It's a waste of Seth MacFarlane's time and talent
Um,
when he
so,
could be doing a better show, which is called the Orville.
uh, Rowan Atkinson, he's promoting, and I didn't realize because I was like, every time we see advertisements for this, I'm like, I swear this movie came out already. Where it's Rowan Atkinson versus a baby. It's called Man versus Baby, and I was like, I swear to God, this movie came out like a long time ago. Why are we just promoting it? And that's because it's a sequel to Man versus Bee, and that I was like, oh, that makes sense. Anyway,
Oh, that makes sense. You know what's
um,
funny is I almost picked that for this week, but it didn't come out till like halfway through the week, and I was just like, "There's no way."
that's
And also, I found out that it was. I mean, it both is and isn't a show. From what I read, it's like a 4 episode miniseries, so it's basically a movie.
oh, I thought it was just a movie. I didn't realize that it was a multiple episode thing. Oh, that's interesting.
From what I read when I looked it up, yeah, it was supposed to be
Oh,
like a four episode miniseries
huh.
thing.
Oh, interesting.
Which
Yeah.
which just sounds to me like in its original version, if it's true, it just sounds to me like in its original version it was going to be a movie, and they just
Maybe.
couldn't get the funding for it or something.
Um, but yeah, he revealed that despite the character's popularity, he does not find Mr. Bean likable, and he gave a surprisingly candid view of Mr. Bean, the character that helped make him a household name. He says he does not view Mr. Bean as someone he would wish to meet in real life. I dislike Mr. Bean as a person. I certainly would never have him like to have dinner with him, he said to attendees. He described him as selfish, self-serving, and anarchic.
Anarchic?
Yeah, anarchic. A child. Uh,
I mean, yeah,
he
that
added that the
pretty
character
aptly summarizes him.
reminds him more of the impulsive version of him at age 10. So yeah, it's a big part of the appeal. Yeah, it's kind of the whole point. Yeah, obviously you're not meant to like him. It's kind of the gag.
I mean, he's also just supposed to be an idiot, a bumbling idiot.
It depends on which sketch it is, but yeah, sometimes he's smarter in other sketches. Like he didn't start off as a silent character. He started off as a character that talks. Also, that one of my favorite memes involving Doctor Bean, Mr. Bean is the one that's like when you find out that show is only like 6 episodes long, and you're like, I
Yeah,
remember that thing there being like 1,000 episodes. It's like, nope, there's only like six
it's
of them.
because there's a in each episode there's dozens of skits. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah. And then Jordan, it was revealed that
I like that show.
reportedly, I did like that show. Um,
Oh, he also said that he
what?
doesn't like the character from Blackadder.
Yeah, he did say that. What? Okay, I did hear this rumor. So there was a rumor that Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson were gonna come back to Hunger Games, and it's apparently rumored that they're gonna be in the new one, Sunrise on the Reaping. But like, what? How does that work? Yeah,
I mean, the only way
are you gonna do a
the only the only way that that works is if like if Jennifer Lawrence is like the ancestor or like her parent, or I don't know how far it is,
I
but
guess
like
you could do a flash
a
forward where
family
it's like, let me
member.
tell you the story of Hamish Abernathy, great hero. Sit
You could
down,
do that.
children of Katniss Everdeen. Let us tell you the story.
It depends on how in depth they're going to be in the story. You either do it that way, or yeah, like I said, you have them where they are their own ancestors
I
and they're just
guess you
older
could do that.
versions.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
Like I don't know how far back in the past this is, but like for example, you could make Jennifer Lawrence is her character's grandmother.
Yeah, it says.
Because they're at that point reasonably would be a
Um.
family resemblance.
Okay, so this article says
I'm not wrong.
that well, the movie is set 24 years before she volunteers as tribute. The film will cleverly incorporate its veteran stars into the movie because the plot's narrative, basically in the movie, it's Haymitch is telling the story of his life to Katniss and Peeta, and it's gonna use that, so it won't disrupt. It will quote not disrupt the timeline. That feels lazy and arbitrary and
I
intentionally
don't.
written.
So wait, I don't understand. So he's just going to tell parts of the story that they were already in, or
No, no, no. Haymitch. This movie is about Haymitch when Haymitch was the whatever 10th quarter quell where he won. So
okay.
he's the
So what are you saying about how they're going to be in it?
so the movie is gonna in the book. I guess it's him telling them the story of his Hunger Games. So the movie is gonna incorporate them by having I guess I forget the name. Yeah, Woody Harrelson. The framing device will be Woody Harrelson telling Katniss, Jennifer Lawrence, and Josh Hudson the story of it. It's basically gonna be Hobbit. It's gonna be Hobbit,
Uh,
where that's how Frodo shows up in the
so what
Hobbit.
we said basically,
Pretty
where
much,
you're
yeah.
going to it's going to be a How I Met Your Mother
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, where it's the let me tell you the story of how I lived
of How I Met Your Mother.
even though we've known each other for 20 years at this point, this is now the first time I'm telling you this story for some reason. Hello.
I
It
mean,
feels
unless they're
lazy. It
gonna
feels specifically.
unless they're gonna de-age Jennifer and
I guess.
Hutchinson or whatever, and make them younger versions of themselves listening to the story.
I guess um otherwise, train of thought, lazy season. Oh yeah. Otherwise, it's lazy. Otherwise, it feels like the book was written with. Because to be fair, this book was written well after the movies came out, so it just reads like she specifically wrote that scene in the book so that they could theoretically have a way to bring back Jennifer Lawrence and Josh Hutcherson, and it feels
Could be
lazy.
true.
Apparently, Jordan. All right. Apparently, Jordan. They're making a third Jay and Silent Bob.
Okay.
They're making a new Jay and Silent Bob. I figured you'd be more excited about that.
Aren't they really old?
They are. It's going to be called Jay and Silent Bob: Stone Wars, and they're
Okay.
gonna film in Canada, apparently.
All right. Okay. I
And
need more details.
he said, "quote We had Canadian money, and the Canadian money went away. It was just oh, okay, never mind. This is why, they haven't started filming because they're gonna film in Canada, and Canada and America is mad at each other.
Oh, so it's not happening.
I don't know. I'm not really particularly interested in another James. I didn't think the last one was
I
very good. So
I mean that's where I just say just at a certain point, I don't know how to say this nicely. It just feels like trying to recapture your
I
childhood.
mean, the 413 movie was really, 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 really quite good. So like,
No,
I,
but I mean, Jay and Silent Bob are
oh yeah,
characters
no, it
they
definitely
played when
feels
they
like
were young people,
yeah,
and it just feels like you're trying
yeah.
to keep that horse running,
Um, so
no
Jordan,
matter how dead it is.
Jordan, the final story of the week, Jordan. Remember that awful monstrosity that was Absolute Joker?
Uh, the second Joker? Oh,
The
Absolute Joker, the worm one, the one that
yeah,
wasn't the Joker. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, you just said a bunch of words, and my brain couldn't
They
un
revealed in
reveal
Absolute
meaning from
Batman
it
number 15 the history of Absolute
of
Joker.
Worm Joker.
At the very least, what Alfred has learned of him. So this Joker is a man called Jack Grimm the Fifth. He is an heir to a vast entertainment empire, dating back to the original Jack Grimm, a Victorian era clown turned, theater magnate and philanthropist. An orphan himself, Jack Grimm was especially dangerous, donating to children's charity. And then it's intercut with scenes of Jack Grimm taking a hunting trip and one of several uncharted islands.
Okay. What does that
And
have to do with him being a worm?
I mean, he's not a worm. He's more. I would say he's more like a dragon guy. Oh,
What
here we
I
go. Here we go.
remember, hold
Skip
on. What is he? Joker?
Absolute Joker.
I need to see him again. I remember him being a worm.
Uh, and then as he finds his quarry, he's going to an island to hunt. I'm skipping through some details. And as he finds his quarry, Absolute Joker transforms into a horrifying dragon-like being with the familiar coloration and the smile of a classic Joker. So he's a guy named
Oh, I guess I'm remembering him wrong. He's more like an imp or a demon.
Jack Grimm. And then yeah, he becomes the Joker, and I guess it's a guy named Jack Grimm, who's a
I mean, he
rich.
still doesn't look like the Joker in
No,
any way.
but that's not the
Now
point.
I remember. I think I remember I described when I saw him. He was like Joker at the end of The Arkham game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is.
That
He's
was
always
the
there.
that was the attribute that I said.
Yo, that's the news. The news. So, Jordan, as
No,
always,
it didn't need that last thing. It was fine.
audience, audience, as always, go support Wild Education. They need your help. They're having a bad way. The government wants to shut them down. We need to tell the government don't shut them down by giving them boatloads of money.
We need to tell them, hey,
Give us
take
money.
this take this cash and go away.
Take this cash and go build a new place for all your animals. Won't someone think of the animals?
Won't somebody, for the love of God, think of
Think
the
about
gosh darn
darn
animals?
animals. Think about those animals. Think about it. And also, Jordan mentioned this earlier, but everybody, go vote for us in the Arties by clicking the link in the description below, so we can win a trophy and a
And a
belt.
belt.
We want to win the belt. Vote for us for
I will.
podcast of the year.
I'd really like the belt.
I'd really like the
Just
belt.
just think of it as a birthday / Christmas present for me, and just vote for us and get me
Vote for
that belt.
us. Get us that belt. I would like
Because
to.
because I know Justin will be really happy to get it, but I'm gonna steal it from him, and it will essentially become my belt. I want that belt.
Want that belt. So vote for us and get us that belt.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
Do
it.
it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
So, with that, it's now the second half of the show. Please do it.
Please.
Please do it. With that, second half of the show, Jordan, you had to pick a topic. Jordan, what was your deeply thought out topic?
Yeah, so even I know I need to further expand on the lore here for the audience's benefit. Even before he gave me the time limit at the end of the show, he had already come to me like probably a week or two
Whoa, whoa,
before,
whoa!
been like, "Hey,
Don't give away the magic.
hey, no, they need to, so they fully understand this." He was like, really, I want you to put some thought into it, really think about it. I'm gonna come at you with this on stream, and you have until this time to kind of let me know. And it was basically a certain time period. And so after the show, I immediately forgot about it until later that evening when Justin was like, "So hey, what's the theme gonna be this week?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, shit. I guess pick whatever you want." And so then
And
Justin was
boy,
like,
did
"Cool,
I!
cool. So the theme is okay, I guess just pick whatever you
I
want."
picked whatever
And
I
so
want.
that was the theme. I put a lot of thought into it.
It's true.
Definitely.
And
Definitely. Justin, you believe me, right? You believe I put a lot of thought into
I
it.
believe you. I believe you.
You believe you believe
But
you believe that I
because
didn't just leave it until the last minute and then just quickly put them some together, right? You have faith in me.
I have faith in you. But Jordan, because you picked the topic, I get to go first. And for my
Okay.
first one, Jordan, I actually swapped it around so we could talk about it sooner, so it would be in our memory, the freshest, the freshest, Jordan, and that is "Wake Up, Dead Man," a Knives Out mystery.
Yeah, that was the extra one that I ended up watching because Justin was
And
so behind schedule.
and I told you to watch it so that I could spoil
It
the ending.
wasn't even on my list. I had 9 other home
I was like, I'm
movies
gonna
that I
spoil
watched, but
the
then
ending of
I was
this.
so good at my job that I took
Uh,
on the time of doing this extra task because I'm great.
because I told you to.
No. This was all on me.
Okay, so number one, we are going to spoil the absolute shit and piss out of this movie. If you have not seen this movie, this is your chance to turn this off and come back later.
Yep.
We're going to tell you who the killer is and why.
We're gonna tell you who done it.
We're gonna reveal who done it, and it's probably gonna happen pretty quickly. So like, this is your chance. You can earmuffs for the next 10 minutes ish, maybe longer. Who's to say? Okay. Cool.
Going,
Okay.
going, gone.
Can
They're
you
gone
believe
now.
it that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father the whole
Oh
time?
my God, it was so
Um,
surprising.
No, we'll do the big twist. I guessed who it was pretty immediately.
Okay, so let's do it this way. What was your guess? Who did you think?
I
How
thought it
did you
was the old
think?
lady.
I did as well. So okay,
Immediately thought it was the
here
old lady.
this is what I thought was going to happen, and I was pretty spot on. I was like when the because in the first little part, I didn't know who was
She
gonna
does a like
die.
a weird mysterious
Um,
whisper. So it's like, well, clearly she's doing a weird mysterious whisper because I thought she killed the grandpa, and like there was a real solid moment where, not that it misdirected me on who I was solid that was the old lady the whole time, but
I
the
yeah,
motivation I was tricked on because
so
there's there's a
So
moment.
as I was saying, what my thought like or what my theory was, what I thought it was going to be was I thought it was going to be the old lady for sure. Whether it was going to be like religious zealotry
Yeah.
or like some other like she was actually not religious the whole time and was faking it or something like that. I knew it was going to be the old lady. But what I thought was going to happen is, uh, so I predicted fairly early on that the pastor guy that he was going to resurrect and come back from the dead. I was pretty spot on about that. What I thought it was going to be was I thought it was going to be a thing where he had convinced her long ago and they were in a secret relationship because there's that part where he comes out of the confessional after she does, and I thought we were going to find out that they were like having an affair, even though she was the groundskeeper's wife. And so I thought that we were going to do a thing, like find a thing out where he fakes his death so that he gets the fortune, and then they run away together, and that's why she went along with it. And he actually doesn't care about her, and I thought it was gonna like that's where it was gonna end up.
I waffled on several different. I knew I right from the onset. As soon as she whispered into the mom's ears during the backstory, I went, "It's the old lady." It's immediately obvious the old lady. She's part of some grand conspiracy. There's
Yeah,
gonna be a mystery involving what happened to the grandpa. And so when she whispers into her ear, I'm like, immediate red flag. And so I thought there was a solid misdirect where that kind of got me a little bit, not off of the trail of it being the old lady, but of her motivation. And it was when the Louise is talking to the priest on the phone, and she's like, my mom has this tumor, and it's making her act weird, and it's making. I thought that the twist was gonna be like that the old lady was her mom, and that
interesting.
she had killed her for some weird demented
See,
mentally ill
at
reason.
that point when they did the whole tumor thing, then that made me question myself a little bit about whether or not the priest would have his resurrection. Then I was like, okay, maybe he has a tumor or like a thing that he's gonna die from anyway, and so he wanted to have one last this is going to be my legacy moment where like I'm going to push all of my believers into believing what I believe by having myself die on my own terms and like have it be that way. That was the one point where I like, but I always thought that the old lady was in on it.
Yeah, oh
It
yeah,
was just for
from
me, it
from
was
the onset, I was like, the
from
old
the
lady. Yeah,
beginning,
yeah,
I was like, she's
immediately.
in on it somehow. It's just about like how it's gonna play out,
This
the
one
specifics of it.
reminded me way more of the first one, where like the first one, I figured out it was, spoiler alert for the first one, but I figured out that it was Chris Evans. I figured out it was Chris Evans really
Mhm.
early on in that movie, like really early on. Um, and so, but I figured out by following the clues that the movie was giving me. And the second one is sort of meant to be subversive. So that movie is more about peeling back the layers of an onion. So it reveals
Mhm.
its mysteries not in a non-linear way. And so this one is way closer to the first one than the second one. And so because it's more like the first one, it made the mystery easier to solve. But that doesn't feel like it's the
Yeah,
movie's fault. That
there
feels like
was
it's
also
my
just the
fault for
fact
having
that
watched these movies.
there's also just the fact that with this one, um, all the other people who were suspicious were too suspicious. And like if you've ever read a good mystery novel,
Yeah.
you know that the ones are the most suspicious, usually in a standard mystery novel,
It's a
are usually
misdirect.
not the ones. Yeah, they're the red herrings.
And yeah,
They're the
the
misdirects.
the
And
surrounding
so the old lady was too devout.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Where it was like, if she did something and covered it up because she's a religious loon. Like that's gonna be
Yeah.
the. Yeah, then the surrounding supporting cast just isn't. I really like the priest. He was fun. His back
He
and
was
forth with
good.
Blanc is good, but Blanc brings the best out of every character in every scene he's in. He is still the standout character. I love the fact that these movies aren't. He's not the main character in these movies.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, well, okay, so it takes like what? I think 40 minutes until Blanc shows up.
Yeah, yeah. The
Like
first
it is a long chunk of the movie
yeah.
before he even shows up
But
in
it
this
doesn't really
thing.
get. I mean, these movies are really great about.
It's
Okay,
engaging though. Like
here's all the characters. Here's the cast. Here's the stakes. Here's why they all have motivation to do the thing. And I love how these movies dispense where they're like, yeah, he just happens to be carrying a camera around where he happened to film in excellent quality the secret super suspicious meeting, but like
yeah,
it works.
it
Like
does. It's
that's
believable
why it
in this
bothers me when people are
instance.
like Ryan Johnson's a bad filmmaker. He's not. His movies are so good. You just wasn't right for Star Wars. But like these movies are so good. Like again, the cinematography is great. Daniel Craig is great. I love the
And
fact that both him.
the emotional depth that he puts into for the good priest.
Yeah,
Um,
solid.
by the end of it, it's like I genuinely feel bad for this guy.
I. I mean it's automatically I think better than the second one simply because it doesn't involve COVID in any way.
Yeah.
But I think the second one's funnier. I do think it's funnier. There's not
I
as
think
many.
they're different.
Yeah,
They're
this doesn't
such
have
different.
nearly as many hilarious like, no, it's dumb. You know, it's so dumb. It's brilliant. No, it's just dumb. Uh,
Um,
that you don't have anything like that in this. This is quite the tone is not more serious. Like there's, it's not to say there's not levity. I just don't think it's as
that's
funny as the
yeah.
last
Well, that's
one.
where I say it's to me they're very different. This is you're right. I would say closer to the
More
first
closer
one.
to the first one. That having been said, I would still. I mean, I'm so Daniel Craig is apparently like super into doing more of these. Ryan Johnson wants to do more of these. Do
I
more
would
of
just
these.
keep making more
Keep
different
making more.
scenarios,
I would watch,
different. Have it be zany
but
in some, have it be
I want each of
serious in
them to have
others.
like part of the fun is that of this is like being like, wait, is that Josh Brolin?
Yeah, just
Like
random people that are like, wait, what
random
are you doing
celebrities
in
that are
this?
like kind of in the middle between being B and A list. Where like they're
So
like the next one, I think Nick Jonas. We talked about the Jonas Brothers yesterday, but the Nick Jonas I think would be solid for the next one. Nick Jonas and a comedically terrible mustache.
okay, um, I'm not gonna say no to that because that sounds awesome.
It has to be. It
But
has to be comedically
but
fake mustache though.
but
It
here's
cannot look
but for
real.
if you're gonna have one of the Jonas Brothers, then that kind of works perfectly for me. Where my next setting where I would have them be is, I mean, I would choose specifically Disneyland, but like at the very least a theme park that's supposed to be Disneyland,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like have one of the suspects be. Again, I think it works better if it's specifically Disney. Like I can have it be a person in a Mickey Mouse costume is like one of the
Yeah.
mascots or whatever. But again, it works equally well if it's just a generic like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Bucky the Chipmunk or something.
This
Um, and like have it be really bright and colorful and like they're in a theme park,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Like these are so I yeah, I would maybe go back to making yeah, exactly, make it a bit more comedic and be a bit more like the last one for the next one. Like
Yeah,
again,
like I would kind of if I was him
I
and I was
solved it, but that I don't think that's on the movie. Like I don't think that's on the movie that I
no,
figured it out.
I think we're smart.
Yeah. Watch those
It's not even
movies.
just that it's not even just that I was gonna say. It's not even just that I think we're smart. We watch a lot of movies
Yeah.
and you get good at spotting things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like
But
the previous one though, I didn't necessarily. I thought that one there was more like second guessing myself because the idea is that it thinks it's smarter than it is. Like that's the
I think a
theme
big
of
part
that
of that,
last movie, and this
yeah,
one isn't. This one is just like no, it's just a straightforward. He even
yeah,
says he's like this is a pretty basic by the numbers, impossible place murder mystery
yeah,
by design, and that's
yeah.
what makes these movies so clever. Is they're a sort of a parody of a particular kind of mystery, and yeah, I would watch it. Well, I would watch. I say it after every single one of these. I will watch 100 of these. I
But
really wish Netflix would
yeah,
do a wider release window next time though, so I could watch it in
I
theaters.
I will say though that I'm kind of the opinion that like if you're gonna do a bunch of these, yeah, I would jump between styles. So like yeah, next one maybe have that one be lighter and funner, and that's why I say a theme park I think
Yeah,
works
that would
great
be
for
pretty
that.
fun. That would be pretty fun.
Um, And then like next one after that, you go back to being serious or whatever, right? Like
But it's on
that's how
Netflix.
I would do it.
It's on Netflix. It's worth checking out. It's quite good. I was impressed.
I
I
had
again
fun.
once again reminded about why I love these movies. Check it out.
I
Why,
definitely
like a bit, man.
was engaged with it. That's for
Very
sure.
engaged with it. And I mean, did the political stuff get a bit like eye rolly and heavy handed? Yes, but it's not as bad as COVID in the last one.
Yeah, I think it walks the line a little
Yeah, it
better.
does walk the line a little better. Jordan, what's your first thing?
My first thing is so all the things that I picked this week were just I really like these movies. Um, or I wanted to watch these movies.
It's just all movies I
So
wanted to watch.
a lot of them kind of just end up being in a specific time frame of release
Pretty
where
much.
it's like these were just a lot of movies that I really enjoyed at this time. And so this came out in 2002 and this is Big Fat Liar.
Big fat
I love
liar.
I have a deep nostalgia for this movie and I'm not even going to pretend I
I
don't.
don't even know why. I don't even remember it being a particularly like exceptional movie. It's just one of those ones that I watched a lot when I was 10. I had a huge thing for Malcolm in the Middle at one point. I was a
I liked
big Malcolm in the
yeah,
Middle guy. So
2000
like
2002. This was at the peak of Malcolm in the Middle. This was the
absolutely,
peak of Amanda Bynes' career with like the Amanda
absolutely.
Show,
I was
which I
super
also
into the Amanda Show to
yeah, I
this
was gonna say
day.
which I was also into a lot
It's
really
pretty
big
close
at the time.
between the Amanda Show and all that, but I would argue that they're like the same show basically. But like,
Yeah,
yeah,
more or
that's the
less.
only. I've never been a sketch like as I've gotten older. I used to be a big sketch comedy guy. Like I used to love those shows, but now I'm like doesn't really do anything for me anymore. But yeah, I grew up. That's the exact nexus of shit that I like. But this is also one of those ones where it feels like it's a sequel to or the movie version of a show that never came out.
I could see why you'd say
Like
that. It feels like it really feels, and I'm only thinking of this now as I'm thinking about it, but it feels like it was inspired by Ferris Bueller.
I could see why you would say that, but it gives me the vibe of like, and I think this came out around the same time. Of remember Max Keeble's Big Move, where like that movie felt like it was like there was like
Vaguely.
a Disney Channel show where it was about him giving the teachers the business, and this was like the series finale movie for that show, but that show never existed. That's what this feels like. This feels like he's like a student who tells lies and he's giving the teachers the what for, and that's the normal show, and this is the movie version, series finale version of that show. That's what
I
this
could
movie
see,
feels
yeah,
like.
I could see that. I could see your comparison. Um,
Because
but
the Marty
as
Wolf
for
feels
why
like such a final boss of a antagonist character.
As for why we liked it as much as we do, I mean, I gotta give credit to the cast.
Cast is great.
The
Paul
cast is
Giamatti.
this is like this is an example of very much I think of the cast elevates the
Oh,
script.
for sure, for sure. I mean, there's so many great like again, Paul Giamatti,
Paul
all of
Giamatti
his
is
family.
great in this.
John
Um,
Chu, I think it's John Chu. John Chu's in this as
he's a director.
he's a director, but he's making fun of John Woo. I don't know if it's this. I don't know if he is actually John Woo, but he's making the whole bit where he's like, and then you have the dove as it lands, and there's five different cameras all capturing the action. That's making fun of John Woo, who he did. You've seen a bunch of his movies. If you've seen, I think The One, that was a John Woo movie. But he's like a well-known action guy, and that's his style. That character is very funny. The bit at the end where they get revealed, and he's like, "I told you, Marty, you get all the cameras, looks great."
Sorry, I just I never knew that there was apparently a direct to video sequel called Bigger, Fatter Liar. Came out in
Now
2017.
now that you said that, that actually does sound familiar.
Had something to do, I was just skimming it. Had something to do with I mean, it has none of the returning
Of
people,
course not.
but
Why would it?
it's a video game idea is stolen or something like that.
Oh,
And I'm just like, okay.
well, all
Anyways,
right then.
um, um, but no, yeah, the star-studded cast in this one. I mean, Frankie Muniz was big for a reason.
Yep, he was massive
Um,
absolutely massive at the time.
Same with Amanda Bynes was big for a reason.
Yep, again,
Paul
absolutely massive.
Giamatti is stealing the show in this.
I
And then,
mean, yeah, his commitment to just being covered in blue paint.
oh
Apparently, his
man.
skin was like he was showering blue for weeks. Apparently,
And you got Jaleel
Oh yeah, Jaleel White is in this as well. I forgot
Jaleel
about
White
Jaleel.
is in this.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. My favorite character is again John Chu as John Woo parody. The camera angle is
Um,
very funny.
but I mean, I really enjoy this movie, but again, it is peak 2000s.
Absolutely,
Peak
absolutely.
2000s,
I'm sure
like
there's probably a Blink
so.
182 needle drop in there somewhere.
Hold on, they have the soundtrack here.
I'm guessing all the. I'm
Let's see.
guessing.
Let's see if it
I'm
has a
gonna guess.
Blink.
Hold on, let me guess. All the small things. It's gonna be on there.
No,
Okay. Second
surprisingly
swing.
not.
Second swing. I'm gonna say Sum 41 or Good Charlotte.
Uh,
God, be Good Charlotte on there.
no.
No, fascinating. Figured it'd be that kind of soundtrack.
So it has. I mean, okay. It's got
Oh,
Smash
why did I
Mouth.
not guess
Come
Smash
on,
Mouth?
come on, come on.
Should have guessed
Uh,
Smash. That would have been my
you
next guess.
got you got Eiffel 65 Blue Dabba D.
Yeah, that makes sense. That absolutely makes sense now.
Uh,
That seemed
let's
too on the
see.
nose. That's why I didn't go for it. Way too on
Is
the
there
nose.
any other? Eye of the Tiger, Survivor,
Okay.
Hungry Like the Wolf, Duran
Jordan.
Duran.
Jordan, do you have any? Oh yeah! I forgot it. Oh, why didn't I guess? I forgot. That's one of my favorite scenes where he's dancing and he's completely blue. That's funny. That's a
Yeah,
very funny
and
scene.
I'm hungry like
Like
the
the
wolf.
so
And to
good.
be fair, it's not just the blue skin. He also had the orange hair because he had to look like the clown from The Invitation.
The comedically orange. Jordan, is that it?
I love that movie. That's going to be my final summation.
Jordan, let me ask you this question before we jump into my next movie. Jordan, have you ever wanted to watch a movie where a group of unicorns wreak bloody and graphically violent vengeance on those who have wronged them?
Uh, Not specifically, but tell me more.
Does this intrigue you?
I'm not going to say it doesn't.
All right,
Tell me
Jordan.
more.
This is Death. Pardon
By
me.
Snoo Snoo.
Let's do that again. This is Death of a Unicorn, starring
I've never
Paul
heard of it.
Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. And the only reason why I know about this movie is because it kept popping up as ads on, I think it was either TikTok or YouTube. And Jenna Ortega is Paul Rudd's daughter, and they are sort of kind of estranged, and they are going up to meet Paul Rudd's boss and Paul Rudd's boss's family, who really want to get to know his family so they can become he can become like the solicitor of their company or whatever. And on the way up to meet him, and him and the daughter are kind of on the outs because they handled the mom dying of cancer, because it's that kind of movie, differently. And so on the way up, they run over a unicorn and kill it. And
I don't think horses. I'm sorry, unicorns are horse size. Their car must have had a lot of extensive damage, right?
well, they hit it, and then they're like, oh, it's
Like their
dying.
hood is just smashed in from hitting a horse,
I can't remember
right?
exactly
Because
how.
to be clear, unicorns are horse size. So when you say they hit a horse, that had to have done a lot of damage, right? What are you doing?
Sorry, I can hear voices. It's distracting. Yes. From what I recall, they clip it, and then they're like, "Oh, we've injured it," and then they do that. We're gonna hit it with a tire iron and try to put it out of its misery. Gag from Me, Myself, and Irene, which I
Got
think
it.
is on your, yeah. They do that
Yeah, it
gag,
is.
and as they're killing it, they're getting splattered in the face with the unicorn's blood, and so they
So
put it.
morbid question for you,
Yes.
but I need to have it answered. Um, Unicorn blood. Do they bleed red or do they bleed
I
rainbows?
think it's like purple. It's not red. That I can tell
It's
you.
not red though.
I think
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's purple. It's not red. That much I can say. But anyway, so they put the unicorn in the trunk of their car and go to meet the boss. And they're like, once we get through this weekend, we'll figure out what to do about it. And one thing leads to another, and it
As usually happens.
it is revealed that this unicorn that they've killed is a baby unicorn, and that the properties of it, Jenna Ortega initially has acne, and she gets splattered in the face with it, and it cures her acne. Paul Rudd is wearing glasses, and he no longer needs glasses, and
Well, that's
the
handy.
the patriarch of his boss is dying of cancer, and so he gets an infusion with the blood of the unicorn, and it cures him. And so they're like, oh my god, this is like, we could make so much money doing this, and this could effectively change the world and cure disease. Like, we have to get this to a lab to see if we can synthesize this. And his scientists are like, we could never synthesize this in a million years. It's magical unicorn shit. Like, we can't recreate this. And so as they're trying
Well,
to
okay, we're gonna have to do the Lorax and hunt them to extinction.
and also, sorry, one of the characters is also Will Poulter, who is Will Poulter is the annoying cousin from Chronicles of Narnia, the guy from We're
Oh
the
yeah,
Millers,
Adam.
Adam Warlock. Yeah, he's in this as like their idiot son who keeps saying kind of smart things, but he's also an idiot who is addicted to drugs. And at one
That
point,
checks out.
he's like grinding down the horn and like snorting it like it's cocaine, and it's like making him like really
Smarter.
smart. Yeah,
And
and
of course it is.
he's like yeah, we just need to get the. So anyway, so they're trying to figure out how
We
they
just need
can.
to get the what?
Hold on, I'm gonna get there. So he's like, we're gonna harvest this unicorn basically, and big spoiler alert, Jordan. There's more than one unicorn, and it turns out that
They don't like being killed,
well, it turns out that this unicorn is a baby unicorn,
and its
and
parents are
its
pissed.
parents are pissed, and all the while, Jenna Ortega is having like these visions from the unicorn because she touched the unicorn's horn, and it's made her connected to the unicorn. And through research, she discovers a tapestry of people from the long ago time who tried to capture a unicorn and kill it and harvest its blood and organs and whatever. And the unicorn, just no matter how much they tried to kill it, it kept coming to life. And on the tapestry like spreads out, and you just see all these images of these unicorns murdering people and like impaling them with their horns and ripping them to pieces and whatever.
Yeah, because fun fact, I know a lot of media makes you think that unicorns are good and like all
They're
that, but
not.
there is a surprising amount of lore which will tell you how violent and not good unicorns are.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you about it in a minute.
To
And
to the point where like in games like Persona, they have unicorns, but they also have like dark
Yep.
unicorns and stuff that you can get.
Um, and
Just
so,
saying.
yeah. So she tries to go to them and is like, yeah, we should just take the baby unicorn out into the forest, leave it, and then get out of here. And they're like, no, we're not gonna do that. This is way too valuable to not even just money wise, but like humanity generally. We're not gonna do that.
Oh, those poor
They're like
stupid fools.
they're like basically like, she's like, we need to leave and get out of here, and they're like, why? And then she proceeds to give them not a very good explanation about why. And it's like, yeah, you should probably mention that you've seen. She mentions the tapestry. She's like, oh yeah, I've seen these tapestries, and just trust me, something bad's gonna happen. But neglects to mention the part of the tapestries where people get violently murdered by unicorns. And so sure enough, the unicorns show up and they take out the electricity, and they proceed to take out every single one of the cast members of this movie one by one in increasingly gruesome and violent fashion. It is
That sounds amazing.
It is amazing. At one point, like, the guy's standing there examining something, and the unicorn's coming up on him. It's like trying to sneak up on him. He sneaks up on him and just drives the horn right through his chest. At another point, like, it's one of those kind of horror movies where like you feel bad for the people getting murdered. So there's a point where they're trying to escape, and the girls there like, you need to go out there, and the it's a cliche, the gate gets stuck. So like, you need to go out there and fix the gate, and you're the only one who can because you know the gate the best. And he's like, fuck you guys. So he goes out there, fixes the gate, and then leaves. And then
Then the unicorn gets him.
the girl goes out. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go out there now. It's safe. And she goes out, and she thinks she's safe, and the unicorns bust out and like rip her in half. Like, the two of them just rip her in half. It's amazing.
So do any of them escape the unicorn?
Well, at the end of the movie, it turns out that yeah, she is in fact connected to the the unicorn and the
Now they see her as one of them.
basically
Or does
um,
she, or wait. Does the magic of the touch of the unicorn horn slowly, let me guess this, slowly turn her into a unicorn, and now she's one of the
no,
unicorns?
that's a solid guess. No, remember how it was like Will Poulter starts doing the unicorn horn like it's drugs, where
Yeah,
it
yeah,
makes
yeah.
him smart, and he comes to the conclusion that they can use her and the oh right, so they realize that, and this is true, but how they word it is not. But the only thing that can control a unicorn is a virgin, like that's a thing from unicorn mythology, and so that translates in this movie as the only weakness the unicorns have is pure-hearted maiden. And so there, he reasons after doing a bunch of unicorn horn that if he uses her and the baby unicorn as bait, we can get the adults and we can harvest them for like years. And so they manage to get him, and Paul Rudd gets shot in the conflict, and so he dies, and the unicorn comes up and like he touches it, and the unicorn kills Will Poulter, and the butler who had escaped earlier shows up with the cops, and the cops are just standing over the top of them, all these dead and ripped apart bodies, and the unicorns are now gone, and they're like, so we know this looks bad, we understand how this looks, and so the unicorn comes up, and Paul Rudd touches the unicorn horn, and he comes back to life. Unicorn brings him back to life, and the Jenna Ortega is like, when I touch the unicorn horn, I like basically. She says it in a much more eloquent way, but it's basically like I went to heaven and saw mom, or felt the closest approximation to what that might feel like. And so when he dies and touches the horn, he feels that too. And the movie ends with they're the only survivors, and the cops are taking them away, and the unicorn whom after it's funny that you were like dark unicorn, because for the entire movie they're like pitch black and evil and scary looking, and once they get their little baby back, they turn into white pure like pretty unicorns, and they save them from the police, and then that's how the movie ends. And this movie was fucking awesome, and you would totally enjoy it, and it is on Crave.
Good to
Yeah,
know.
it's if you like just cartoonish and spectacle violence, it's definitely worth checking out. And Paul Rudd's great, the cast is great, Paul Rudd's great, Jenna Ortega is fun, Will Poulter is having just a great time, and it is not the worst movie I watched this week.
That's fair. I understand.
I did not have a bad time. That's coming next.
Okay. So next movie that I watched, I wanted to watch this because I know that there's like the next one is going to be coming out, and so I was like, well, I have to watch this to kind of vaguely refresh myself, and that's the Simpsons movie.
What is there to refresh yourself on? It's The Simpsons.
Um, the details of the movie.
But I mean, okay, all right then.
Mostly it was just an excuse to watch the Simpsons movie.
That movie's great. It does suffer from what Seth MacFarlane. He had a criticism of it, and it's my always go to criticism, which is like, yeah, other than
It just
Bart's
feels like an
Dingle
extended,
Dingleberry, it just feels like an extended episode of the show, especially a
yeah,
modern episode of the show, where it's like
which is
it's
like, I like the show, at least at that time I did. So
well,
like,
that movie in particular, all of the original writers of the show who had long since left the show came back to write it. So it's basically like getting the team back together, the band back together. So there's a
yeah,
lot to like about that movie.
and it felt like
And it
it.
absolutely feels like it
Uh,
shows. Yeah, that movie is underrated because it came out in that period of time where Simpsons got bad, so nobody appreciates how good that movie is. But that movie's really funny. It's got an emotional core that's surprisingly good for The Simpsons. Like one of my favorite Simpsons lines of all time is when Marge is on the tape after having left Homer, and she's like, every time someone's like, why do you stay with him when he does these stupid things? I always have a reason. And then she goes, but now
I just I can't think of that reason
I just
anymore.
don't know anymore. And just her like resignation, I think it's really good, a really good moment. Yeah, I think that this show is held back by the fact that they've never let these characters grow or change or age. Um, and this is a
I mean,
moment.
yeah, the whole plot or subplot of Bart really wants a father who has consistency, and so he ends up willingly, because there's an entire episode from the show about Bart and Lisa being stuck at the Flanders and hating every second of it. So to have this moment, have this like plot of like Bart secretly wants to be a Flanders
Yeah.
is brilliant. It's
Yeah.
great. Like
Yeah.
he wants a parent who has enough consistency to stop him from being the little hellion Dennis the Menace character and be more like Todd and Rod Flanders. Like he secretly yearns for that.
But like I get the criticism that's not high stakes enough. I do. I genuinely do. But
Yeah,
like
I do.
how much more how do you raise the stakes and have it not feel silly? That's my thing. Like what more do you do to raise the stakes? There isn't really much more you can do. This is I think the highest stakes it's going to get. You can't be like, "Oh, they're they're going to save the world."
I mean, the only way for me you can raise the stakes higher, as it were, um, and I just don't, especially at the time. Well, okay, if I'm putting myself in the mind of nowadays, I don't think you can. If I'm putting myself in the mind of when this came out, which was 2000, what, 7, 2009, 2007. When this came out in 2007, to me, the way you raise the stakes for a movie is you have it cross over with other things.
Yeah, yeah.
So like you have and I'm just throwing out characters, but like you have it cross over with Family Guy, you have it cross over with whatever else was big at the time, and you have them all come together for one big movie event.
One big hurrah as it were.
To me,
Hurrah,
that's
hurrah.
that's the way
I
for
don't
a movie
disagree.
like this. That's how you raise the stakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
in a way that yeah, it feels a little, especially in 2007. Yeah, maybe it feels a little cheesy, but in 2007 crossover movies have not been done to death.
Nope, you're not wrong. You're not
um
wrong.
but I'm mostly content with the movie we
I like
got.
this movie. Like, I still quote it. I still ever gone mad without power. It's boring. Nobody listens to you.
Sure, I believe you've gone mad with power. Of course I have. Have you ever gone mad without power? It's boring. Nobody listens to
Albert
you.
Brooks, very funny. Yeah, the Arnold Schwarzenegger being president is a joke that just works.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger being president, but he's still just Wolf, the character from the show.
Raider Wolf
And then
Castle.
the fact that they're identical
I would
is a
elected
funny
to
gag.
lead, not to read. Man, a certain president probably would say that. I was
Um,
elected to lead, not to read. Funny.
yeah, no, there's a lot to like about this movie. Um, I mean,
When he's
even the
sinking
fact that
into
they're
the sand, he's just
self-aware.
flipping them off. Oh, very funny.
Yeah,
Like jokes like that, like this show, but like yeah, it's tough because it can't be R-rated. The movie can't be R-rated. It can't be South Park, and it also can't just be the show. So I guess that is the healthiest middle ground. Because yeah, that's a joke you couldn't do on the show.
um, um, yeah. To me, the way that you the way or the biggest thing that they could have done for a movie level thing is yeah, have an event like I don't know. You remember that comic book manga that you had where it was like the TV dimensional thing where the Futurama characters end up in the TV with the Simpsons, and then the Simpsons end up in the Futurama world, and it
Yeah,
was before they did the cartoon version of the
yeah,
crossover. To me, you do something like that.
yeah.
Where you have some event where like I don't know where like other characters from different channels, maybe self-referential, have it reference the fact that they're on TV, something like that.
It's tough because now all of my ideas for that movie already happened on the show, but that movie I would have been like, do a Family Guy Simpsons movie, raises the stakes, have it
Something like that,
yeah,
yeah.
that should have been a movie. That then it would have had a bit more like meat to it than what they wound up with, and
That's where that
let them share writers, like let the Simpsons and Family Guy, not just all the Family Guy writers write it.
Yeah, right. That's where I say like if I'm looking at this like it's 2007, how would I do it better?
Yeah,
That's what I would do
better is
before
different.
different, more movie like,
Yeah.
I guess is what I would say.
How would I sufficiently raise the stakes? Jordan, do you have anything else to
That's the
say?
Simpsons movie. I like the Simpsons movie.
Okay, Jordan. The
It's
time's
back when the
come.
Simpsons was still good.
No, it wasn't actually. That was during the period of time when The Simpsons was largely considered bad. That's what makes that movie so remarkable.
Huh. Anyway, what's your next one?
Jordan, Jordan, it's time. It's time for
Play?
me to let the hate flow through me because Jordan, I need you to know
Uh,
that this
yes,
movie
yes.
filled me with contempt and
Mm.
hate and
Yeah,
anger
I didn't even
and
need to
rage.
watch to feel those emotions. So,
Jordan, this is Lilo and Stitch
you won't hear me defending it.
remake. Lilo and Stitch
Garbage.
remake. Jordan,
Lilo and Stitch, the garbage edition.
garbage. It's not just garbage for all the reasons that people said it was garbage. Yes, the ending is bad, Jordan. The ending. I'm here to report to you now that I've seen it in context. It's bad. It's bad. The characters, like, they have Lilo literally go, "I want you to leave." Like, Ohana means going to an out of state college. Um, it fundamentally
Ohana,
understands.
Ohana, Ohana means family. Family means abandonment.
Family means going to an out of state college. Um, the child acting is bad. I don't like to be mean to child actors, but the child acting is bad. They completely and fundamentally misunderstand Lilo's character. So now Lilo is a bad kid. So the scene of her and Stitch at the restaurant is her and the Stitch at the restaurant getting into mischief, which completely fundamentally misunderstands Lilo, where now her fixing Stitch no longer makes any sense. What the fuck did they do to my boy Cobra? My boy Cobra gets reduced to, now he gets split in half. So instead of him being the social worker, now the character of Cobra Bubbles gets split in half. We have Cobra Bubbles, the government agent, and Nani from original Lilo and Stitch, who is the social worker.
Wait, what?
So there's now a new character, who is the social worker, and is not Cobra Bubbles. It is Nani from the original Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, I see what you're saying. The voice actress who played Nani.
No, it's my headcanon that it's Nani from Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
She's come.
Um,
It makes just as much sense as the rest of this.
so basically, Cobra Bubbles, instead of being Cobra Bubbles, is now Gantu, like we two.
No, no, because he does nothing. He shows up. Kind of in the middle of the movie, and he's a CIA agent who is investigating what's happening with Stitch, and then he immediately discovers that Stitch is an alien, and then he
Yeah,
for
so
some
he's the
reason,
human Gantu.
no, that's because he's not. Then he teams
He's there
up.
to hunt. He's there to hunt down Stitch.
No. Then he teams up with the social worker, and then the rest of the scenes he's in is all of the scenes where the social worker shows up, and he just stands in the background. So he doesn't hunt Stitch.
But he is. But he is.
Not like Gantu though. He just kind of stands in the background aimlessly and does nothing. So to say he's like really the one who's Gantu is Jumba. So now Jumba is the bad guy. So they've completely, and like the whole bit is now he works for. So the first
He always worked. He always worked for the councilwoman.
He works for the council, and his bit was
but he always did.
I don't recall them ever actually saying it in the original movie. Like a lot of this movie.
Yeah, she goes to his prison cell, and he basically makes a deal with the councilwoman.
No, but in the beginning of the movie, they actually say that, like, and to be fair, it's been a while since I've seen original Lilo and Stitch, so maybe they say it in that original scene. But they're like, you worked for the Federation, you're supposed to be genetically making like cows, and you have abused.
Oh, in that regard, no, I don't think they say that. Yeah. I more meant like when they go to him and are like, we need you to get your shit under control.
What I'm saying is, like, prior his back, like in the original backstory, he's just to my recollection.
In the original one, especially with the
right?
especially once they add in the lore of the cartoons and stuff. Yeah, he was just a mad scientist.
So in this, he works for the Federation, making genetic creatures, and he has made 626. And like, you violated all the resources we gave you to create them. This is the kind of Disney movie where it exists to purely explain all of the questions that you never asked.
They want to explain shit without having to have Hamsterville, because Hamsterville in the original, like the lore of the show and stuff, Hamsterville is the one who funded Jumba.
Or like, it thinks you're stupid, so it says a thing where it was self-evident in the original movie, but now has to explain it because it thinks kids are stupid. So like, you know the bit where he can't go into water because his density is too heavy?
Yeah.
So there's a line where he crash lands on Earth, and the councilwoman says to the little sidekick character, his density he's way too dense. When he goes into water, he can't. His body density is too dense, and the character goes, "What does that mean?" And she has to look into the camera and go, "It means he'll sink." because the movie thinks you're fucking stupid. It's agitating, and like yeah, there's so many
Yeah, whereas in
unnecessary.
the original, it just has
It's
a
just
scene
understood
where he's
that
like, "Why would he risk drowning? He cannot swim."
right. Or like yeah, it's basic and you understand. It says and you get it. It
Yeah,
doesn't. Um. What else? Jason.
it
Yeah.
understands that kids, if they hear that he's too dense or something, they understand that kids might not know what they mean. But when they have a scene where Jumba then like proceeds to go like he can't swim, that's pretty. You know
Yeah.
what can't swim
But
means.
no, he doesn't. To be fair, they say the density thing early, and then he doesn't say that until way later. Like he says that in a later scene. I'm talking like in the same scene. Like there's a bit later where he's watching them from a distance, and he says, "Why would you do that? You can't swim." But the line I'm talking about is like she says like they say that oh he can't go
No,
in water
I
because
know. I'm saying that the original movie didn't feel the need to have an explanation of the why
yeah
because they understood that even if a kid doesn't understand what's being said there, later in the movie it's going to become obvious, so they'll
yeah
get it eventually.
yeah exactly.
The original movie clearly understood that, whereas modern movies
They
think kids are stupid
it
because they
feels they
put
need
in
to
scenes
explain.
like that
Yeah.
and make kids stupider.
And okay, and there's so many scenes in this movie that just exist to extend the runtime. That's all they're
Yep,
there to be. So like
that doesn't surprise me.
they have an completely unnecessary scene showing Stitch crashing the ship that adds literally nothing. They have uh a scene where Stitch crashes a wedding that goes on for an eternity and only serves as to add additional basically be like this is how he wound up in the shelter but like it's really unnecessary because him getting hit by the truck was enough but so now he
Yeah.
crashes a wedding and still gets hit by a truck. um there's a really stupid running plot line where he
Just
shows
feels
up.
like they added all these scenes in so that people like you and I wouldn't go to it and just be like, "Oh, it's just literally exactly the
Yeah,
same."
pretty
Oh, see,
much.
no, it's not exactly the
Yeah,
same. We've got a
it's
couple
like I say,
scenes in
it's there
there.
to extend the runtime. It's there to
Yeah.
make the movie 5-10 minutes longer than the original. Um,
So what you're saying is this movie that I said looked bad,
it's
and I think
bad.
you
It's
defended,
bad. It's bad.
is
Well,
bad. So
because.
what I'm hearing is that phone. Do you hear that phone?
Well, okay, but to be fair, a lot of times in these movies, the stuff that's different is at least interesting, or like theoretically could be interesting. The stuff that everything they do that's extra in this is blatant character assassination. All the stuff they
Ring
blatantly
ring
character assassinate Lilo. They blatantly
ring
character
ring
assassinate Jumba. They blatantly character assassinate Cobra.
ring
Like
ring
so much of the early bits of this movie is just to
ring
make.
ring.
And that's not even mentioning the character assassination they do to poor Nani, who the movie goes out of its way to make you understand that she's a shit parent so that it can justify her giving up Lilo to the state at the end of the movie, which again in context is terrible. It also has the lady who voiced the one supermarket lady in there as like a neighbor lady who's an unnecessary character that just serves to undercut Nani's character, completely missed the point of the original movie. The only character who's not terrible is Pleakley, and that's because he's more or less the same character as the original movie. He only gets screwed by Jumba because Jumba is now a completely different character. Zach Galifianakis is awful in this. It's an awful characterization. There's that really dumb B plot of like we can't afford the technology and we don't want to have to explain them looking like aliens, so now they look like humans. It's not holographic technology, by the way. It's cloning. They clone a person. So there's a bit where they're like doing the joke from Space Jam where they're walking through the this hotel like hidden like dressed up and they use this cloning machine and it turns them into these guys who are clearly a gay couple.
Okay.
What else? What
So
else?
what you're saying
What else?
is this movie's bad.
What
This movie's
else?
bad, and anyone who likes it should feel bad.
The ending is terrible.
You're
The
not
guy who
saying
the
no.
Stitch voice doesn't sound right, but it's the same guy, but it doesn't sound right. Oh yeah, there is one thing I kind of liked, but also I hated. I liked it conceptually, but it was one of those like shower thoughts when you peel back, you realize it's stupid and it completely undercuts Stitch's character. But there's a running subplot where Stitch can't speak English, where he doesn't understand English, and so there's a communication barrier between him and Lilo, and so then at the end of the movie, there's a part, the part. Oh, number one, the ugly duckling isn't in this, so the whole bit where he's like, I want a family, and he's all by himself, and he reads the ugly duckling, and that makes
But
him realize
last.
that's not in this movie. So he still does. This movie does that Disney live action remake thing where they just say the lines from the movie, from the original movie. So he still does the "This is my family." It's still good, like speech at the end of the movie, but it doesn't do any of the lead up to it. It doesn't do any of the ugly duckling stuff. So now that line is incoherent and it doesn't make any sense because there's no lead up to it. He just
That's
says it,
just like
and
the
you
rest of the
and you
movie.
recognize it because it's a thing from the original movie, but there's no setup or explanation for it. Um, so yeah, there's a
Sounds like a
bit.
sounds like a pretty standard live action
Um,
Disney
so
remake.
there's a bit where Stitch gets upset because he thinks that he's the reason that Nani and Stitch are being broken up. He thinks it's his fault, and so he runs off, and
Because because it is in this version.
and him and Stitch have this big long dialogue where he now says entire full sentences in English. And I was like, okay, that's kind of a neat idea where it's like Stitch is learning English over the course of the movie, but that doesn't make any sense because Jumba says he has the brain of his supercomputer. That's the reason why he so easily learns English in the original movie, because he's a genius. So this makes him look stupid. It makes him look like he's less intelligent because he couldn't learn English. But like as an idea of him having to slowly learn how to communicate, and it's like it's not executed badly. It just as a character for Stitch doesn't make any sense.
I think that idea works if like you do it for 20 minutes of the movie. He
Yeah.
shows up and he can't speak English, and like over 20 minutes he then becomes fluent and he's faking not knowing how to
Um,
do it. That works because like yeah, he's a supercomputer. He should learn it fast, but like you could also have a line of dialogue or something where he's talking to himself like in perfect English and he goes like I have to keep pretending to be stupid so these stupid humans will fall
maybe.
for it or something.
Um,
Like maybe a line like that works if
but
it's
like,
done right.
yeah, this is not a case of like if I said, oh, if they did more of the stuff that was original, it'd be better and more interesting. No, because the stuff that they do that's original is bad and
That
awful and terrible.
sorry. Sorry, real quick. Thank you, Zach. Sorry, what is it? Milne? Milne. Thank you, Zach Milne movies or talks movies. It's not my birthday today, but it is 4 days from my birthday, and this was just the best time streaming wise to do a birthday episode. But thank you for the birthday wishes.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Uh, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. The original stuff was bad. It's all bad. It was terrible. I think it might be the worst one of those movies. It filled me with such
He-
I mean, you Jordan can attest.
Here's here's the
I
question.
sent him several angry messages filled with rage.
It's true, he did. Here's the question. Does it dethrone the first Lion King for the worst one?
No, that's still the worst one. This is a close second though. That one was agitating. No, man, I don't know. I don't know. I maybe no, only because this doesn't violate a beloved childhood movie quite. This, but it also does. Man, it's tough. I'm gonna say it's not as bad as Lion King because it doesn't have Seth Rogen badly singing a song I like from my childhood.
That's the deciding factor in this is
Because
the
like the music is
it's a
still good.
musical for Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, like the music, like it has extended and alternate versions of Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride and the Lilo song from the beginning. That sequence is a bit longer. The lead up to it is dumb. Like that scene is stupid because like she's late because at one point she's chilling in a hot tub. Like it starts off with her feeding Pudge, and then as they set up to do the thing, instead of it being just practice, it's now a performance, and she's late because over the course of a little montage, she's like chilling in a hot tub with guests because I guess that's supposed to be their way of being like, oh yeah, she still messes with guests or whatever, but she's like mischievous or whatever. But that's the reason why she's late, not because she was feeding Pudge, but she still does the feeding Pudge lines, and once again, it's incoherent.
I understand. I
Bad,
understand.
bad, bad. Made me mad. Made me mad. Hated it. It was filled with so much rage. That's it.
But
That's
you
what I'm gonna
still
say.
think Lion King is worse,
I still think Lion King is worse. Yeah.
but it's close. Okay, so still in those 2000s, 2008, we watch a movie called Taken.
Uh,
Justin, do you remember Taken?
oh, I do know that, Jordan. I have a certain set of skills that make me a
Make me a
nightmare
nightmare
for
for a
guys like
person
you.
like you.
And Jordan, if you do what I say, no
If you give
harm,
back my, if you
no
give back
harm will
my
come
Game
to
Boy,
you.
Justin, if you give back my Game Boy, no harm will come to you.
But
I will
if you
hang up this
don't,
call, and we will both move on with our life.
but
But
if
if
you
you do
don't,
not return my Game
I will
Boy,
find you,
I will find you,
and I will
and
kill
I
you.
will kill you.
I will kill you.
Um, I still, so okay,
It was a
watching
nice
this movie
tight, like
now,
88 minutes.
it's like it's an hour and a half,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's nice and tight.
not very long.
There's not much to it.
The action still
Um,
looks good. The worst one of these,
uh,
and my favorite one in terms of bad action is still the third one, where Liam Neeson can't run anymore, so it's so shaky. But you can
isn't the
see,
third one the one where he gets kidnapped? Because the first one is
no,
the daughter, the second one is the wife, and I think the third one is he gets kidnapped and he has to guide the daughter to him.
I think at one point he does get kidnapped, yeah, but not for the whole thing. No, the third one's the fugitive, where you think that he's murdered or killed somebody, and he's on the run.
Or maybe I'm thinking of the fourth one then.
There's a fourth one.
Pretty sure. Hold on.
I
I
have
can't be bothered to look it up.
I have not. If there's a fourth one, I have not seen the fourth one. I've only seen
I
the
might
third
be
one.
I might be wrong about that. I'm not committed enough to say for
The
sure.
second one, yeah, because there's one of the ones where he's tied upside down, and it's the guy taking revenge, and he cuts his arm or whatever, and he's slowly bleeding to death. So that did happen in one of them. I think that might be the second one, second or
I
third
just
one.
remember there's a part in one of them where he has to guide the daughter
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him.
yeah. He's hanging upside down, and they've captured him. I know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure that's the second one.
Either way, in this one, because we're talking about the first one, um,
This was genre defining. Like people don't
I
really appreciate what this created a whole new genre of what's known as dad movies. Um,
um and I really so I do have issues with this movie.
Jordan, would you like to know
Um,
before you get into those issues what a dad movie is?
a movie where an action hero who is a dad is an action hero.
You pretty much got it. Yeah, it's a movie where it's like your dad would love this because it makes your dad look cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or makes him feel like a hero.
yeah, you pretty much nailed it. It's a fantasy for a dad where like turns out he was right and you should have listened to dad the whole time. Because if you had listened to dad like you should have, you wouldn't have gotten in that cab with that charming European man. Because if you'd listened to dad, dad's always right. Listen to dad.
Yeah, again, so that leads nicely into my move or my problem with this movie, which is the ex-wife is a bitch.
She is.
She's just a unpleasant person. Like that's where like yeah, this feels like it was written by a single dad.
I'm sure it probably was.
I don't actually know if it was. It was written by Luc
Yeah,
Besson
Luc Besson.
and Robert Mark Carmen.
Yeah,
Carmen?
this is a Luc Besson. Anytime I say Luc Besson and you're like, I don't know who that is. He's the guy who made the Taken movies. He also made the.
But yeah, so it comes
Transporter
across
movies
like
as
it
well.
was written by a single dad because yeah, man, he shows up to the daughter's birthday just so that he can give the daughter the present from him and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And the wife tries to block him and
In a
is like
scene that feels
all the
very
presents
real. You're not wrong.
all the presents go over here and it feels like just this was based on his reality or something with his ex-wife or like then his
some
daughter
writer had
wants
a
to
bad
wants to
run-in
go
with,
to his daughter wants to go to Paris and he's like, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't want to sign the paper. And the wife like bullies him into it, which again just feels like this happened to this person.
Yeah, no,
The person that wrote
it
this.
feels like he showed up at like his child's birthday party and got to a fight with his ex-wife. Like it does have that vibe of like this feels like this happened to someone sometime.
And so like all the times in this movie where it's like, yeah, no, the wife is just unreasonable and unpleasant and in writing usually things come from life experiences is all I'll say.
The one thing I remember about this one is I remember thinking that the I think doesn't she have a new husband, and being like The new husband feels like there's going to be something up with him, and then there just never is.
Yeah, he's just
She's a nice guy,
she
seemingly.
she this movie really portrays the ex-wife as, and I don't know if this is an offensive thing to say,
Cliche of
but
a
as
difficult
a
ex-wife.
I was gonna say cliche of a gold digging whore, but
I
uh
mean, all right.
she leaves her husband who served in the military or served in the whatever it was, secret spy stuff, so that she could go be with the rich husband who can pay for everything she ever wanted, and then she's a total unpleasant person to her ex-husband, even though from what the movie tells us, he didn't ever do anything really to warrant that behavior. Maybe in the second one they go more into that, but from what I remember of this one, there's not really anything that makes what she acts like towards him reasonable.
Yeah.
Uh, and then all she is seen as in this movie is a corrupting influence on her daughter, who is pushing her daughter to, or allowing her daughter to make irresponsible choices. Because you need to remember, in this movie, the daughter is 17.
And
So
Jordan, Dad is always right.
in this movie, the wife thinks that it is okay for her daughter and her daughter's 19-year-old friend to go alone to Paris to follow a rock band with no adult supervision.
Seems like a
Now,
good idea.
maybe I'm a fuddy-duddy, but that just sounds. My parents would never have allowed me to go to another continent to do a single travel by
Yeah,
my. And I'm a guy.
but your parents aren't rich, Jordan, and irresponsible.
I mean, arguably neither were hers. Only her stepdaddy was.
Rich and irresponsible. Yeah, they
Um,
made the what? I am gonna Google this because did they make Taken 4?
I don't actually know.
Taken.
According to this, there is a television
There
series,
is no official plans for Taken 4, so they've only made 3.
but there was a Taken television series,
That makes sense. Yeah, no.
which which is played. Does it say?
Yeah.
Origin story for Brian Mills. Oh, Clive Standen
Oh yeah.
played him instead of Liam Neeson.
But yeah, this is definitely one of the prolific. Like people don't realize how influential this movie was.
Oh, it
You can
it
make
has a
cheap
legacy,
action
man.
movies. That yeah. How to make these
Um,
cheap ass middle-aged dad action movies.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what came first, this or the Expendables, but they both.
I think I think it was this, but it's roughly the same time. Yeah, The Expendables. That's another great example of a dad movie. That is the daddiest of dad movies.
Yeah, it brings together all of your
From the
80s
80s who
action
were like just a
heroes.
hair too old for it to be believable. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
in that first one. Not in that first one. It's when they get to like the third or fourth one that it
For
gets
some of them it is. But yeah,
for
you're
some
right.
of them.
For some of them it is. Now Jason Statham, it wasn't unbelievable. He's hitting that point where you're like, oh, okay, dude, it's maybe time to like hang it up.
Definitely by the second or third one, yeah. I
Jordan.
don't know about in this first one, but
No, this first one was solid. This first one was great because it was so short. You could watch it before work. It was great.
it's yeah, great. It's hour and a half. I love it.
Nice and compact.
But yeah, no, that's Taken.
That is
Maybe
Taken.
maybe one day I'll do Taken 2 and Taken 3. And then I can
Or
remind myself of what happens in them.
more Taken. So Jordan, in the universe, there must exist a balance, Jordan. For all of the hate, there must also exist love. We cannot have love without hate. You can't have hate without love. So Jordan, when I tell you
I
that
assume there's a point to this ramblingness,
that I
right?
had that I had a completely different experience with Freakier Friday. Freakier Friday. I love that movie, Jordan. I had a great time, and it is a very good movie.
Alrighty then.
Um, Everyone in it is having a phenomenal time. Lindsay Lohan is having a great time, and it was the second movie that made me go, man, Lindsay Lohan is a great physical comedian. She is a very good physical comedian. Chad Michael Murray is also having a great time. Jamie Lee Curtis is having a great time. You could tell she really wanted to make this because she produces it. The kids do a phenomenal job. All of the actresses involved pull double duty on multiple characters. My only real criticism is so the the body swapping that happens here, the basic, very very basic plot is Lindsay Lohan falls in love with Jason from The Good Place, but he's British and charming and affable. He's an affably charming British man.
I mean, most of them are.
I mean, I feel like you're not picturing this, Jordan. Jason from The Good Place.
Which one's Jason?
Jason Mendoza.
Oh, the idiot. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes, the Filipino guy.
Yeah, yeah, the
Or
idiot.
if you prefer the villain from The Acolyte.
Oh my God, he wasn't he?
Yes, yes, he
Yeah,
was.
yeah, okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's in this, and he's now affable, charming, and British. And what's
That
interesting
must
about
have that must have really pulled you out.
it really did. It was so weird. And what I kind of like about this one versus the original is the movie starts off with the setup being that Lindsay Lohan is divorced, has chosen to be divorced, as Jamie Lee Curtis puts it, and is moved back in with Jamie Lee Curtis and is living with Jamie Lee Curtis and the teenage daughter. And she meets Jason Mendoza, but affable and British, and he's one of Jamie Lee Curtis's clients. Or no, I'm sorry. The two daughters hate each other at school. His daughter is also British, and they hate each other, and they wind up getting into a fight, and they both get called to the school, and that's how
Oh,
they
and that's
meet.
how the parents meet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
okay.
then the movie does a flash forward where it does a bunch of like collage of like how they dated, their relationship, whatever, what have you, and then it hard cuts to like a few months later, whatever, 6 months later, I think is what they say, and Lindsay Lohan and Jason Mendoza are getting married, and the daughters are unhappy about this because they don't want to get
They
married.
hate each other.
They hate each other, and the decision is: are they going to stay in L.A. or are they going to move back to London? And Jason Mendoza's daughter wants to move back to London, and the rest of them all want, or Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan's kid want to stay in L.A. And they end up going. They go to Lindsay Lohan's bachelorette party, where, and this was kind of funny. I appreciated this. The Chinese restaurant from the first movie, the one that caused them to switch, they're catering for the bachelorette party, and so
Of course they are.
they come back for this, and the grandma is there, whatever, and they end up running into this fortune teller lady who it's implied she's the one who does the swap, because there's a point where she like gets possessed and says this like incantation, and yeah, they all swap. And oh yeah, in order to explain why Jamie Lee Curtis and the other girl swap so that they can keep Jamie Lee Curtis in the swapping, they have a conflict where she's like, "You're not my real grandma, and I don't need you," and that's the conflict. That's why they're swapping, and that's all I'm gonna give away, because the rest is really funny. There's a lot of really funny jokes. They basically, just like in the trailer, decide to team up to break the wedding up, so it goes exactly where you think it's gonna go.
Or the parents are like, "Well, we don't care what you think is happening, whether you like it or not. You better learn to accept it."
And then it's about learning found family and accepting newfound family.
Family don't end with blood, boy.
There's a running bit where Lindsay.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Where Lindsay Lohan left. You know how she was in the band? Well, the band got really famous in between movies, and she left to have the kid. And so there's a whole thing involving a song that they think is written about the Chad Michael Murray character, who is still in love with Jamie Lee Curtis. So there's a whole bunch of jokes about him and him being into her, which is really funny. So there's a bit at the end where Lindsay Lohan is playing guitar for the daughter who is pretending to be her on stage, and she plays a new song, and then Lindsay Lohan actually gets to play, the original song, "Tear Me Away." They do a big musical number where she gets to play that song for real. It's really quite cool. What else? Yeah, they're all having a great time. Oh, my one complaint is, the girls, the teenage girls, start off the character arcs for the characters, but they don't get to fulfill the character arc in the movie as actresses. So like, there's a moment where Jamie Lee Curtis as the girl has like her big come to God, I've decided that I want to stay in LA, I'm going to do a big cry meltdown kind of scene, where it gets really highly emotional. But the teenage girl who the character is doesn't get to have this emotional pathos, this emotional moment. Jamie Lee Curtis does. And Jamie Lee Curtis is the character, so within the context of the movie, it's her having this moment, but it feels like the actress didn't get to like have that moment with that character. Like it doesn't feel.
It's a real Jumanji
Yeah,
situation,
like
is
that's
what you're
not
saying.
her character. That's not Jamie Lee Curtis's character. Jamie Lee Curtis's character. So it just for me, if it was jarring, it didn't really work for me in the emotional noise. It's the same thing with the Lindsay Lohan character. Like Lindsay Lohan, like Jamie Lee Curtis is doing this real over the top chewing scenery kind of emotional acting, and Lindsay Lohan just isn't doing that. And it's just I don't. I'm not believing her as being the body swap portion of this is not 100% working for me, but she's having so much fun doing bad flirting with Chad Michael Murray that it's so much fun. And I guess because I had watched Lilo and Stitch the night before, and that movie filled me with a rage that I cannot describe, despite my best efforts, that I had a great time. I had a great time. Like, it was so much fun. It's just as fun as the first one. It doesn't explain anything. It doesn't need to explain anything because it's not that kind of movie. They could do another one. They're talking about doing another one. I don't know how they would, but they're talking about it. Like I say, everyone involved in this is having a great there's a slew of bloopers in the credits, and they're all having a great time. They're all having super like a ton of fun, and yeah, it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. You should check it out. Jordan, you would like it. It's on Disney Plus.
Noted.
Yeah.
Noted. Noted. So my next one uh is called so we talk a lot of shit about Jim Carrey on this show in the past, but believe it or not, I do actually like some of his
I
movies.
like some of his movies.
This is one of them. I watched Me, Myself, and Irene.
I do like Me,
Uh,
Myself, and Irene.
and so what's funny is uh as I was watching it this time, um the some of the scenes where so for those who don't know, this movie is about a Rhode Island state officer, Charlie,
Charlie
who
Bucket.
after years of bad things happening to him and him repressing shit,
He finally
he has
snaps.
he snaps and he creates a second personality,
Called Charlie.
Hank.
Hank. Called
Um,
Hank.
um, and
The Rhode
so
Island
there's
State
some scenes
Trooper.
in this that's all leading up to. There's some scenes in this where Hank and Charlie are fighting, and it's basically Jim Carrey fighting himself.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and as I was watching it this time, I thought to myself, did Liar Liar come out before this?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty
And
sure.
it did. It
Yeah, yeah,
did.
yeah.
I
Pretty
looked it
sure.
up
Liar
because I
Liar
was
came
like,
out in.
as I was watching this, I just kept thinking back to the scene where in Liar Liar he's in the bathroom beating himself up, and
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
"I'm
yeah.
kicking my own ass," and I'm like, this movie feels like someone saw that scene and wrote a movie because of that
I could
scene.
believe that. Yeah, if I'm okay, let me guess. Liar Liar is 1998, and this is
Oh,
2002, right?
let's open up Liar Liar. Let's find out the specifics.
That's my guess. I'm pretty sure Liar Liar is
Liar
1998.
Liar. Liar Liar is 1997.
Oh, I was off by 1 year. This is
And Me, Myself, and Irene is 2000.
oh, I was off by 3 years. I thought for sure it was 2003.
So
There's so
yeah,
I know a lot of this movie.
I
I love.
definitely think whoever wrote it saw that and was
I
inspired
mean,
and
Jim
wrote
Carrey. No,
this.
no. So that's no. This is the one. This is Me, Myself, and Irene. This also has Anthony Anderson and his son, his brothers, right? Jim Carrey's sons.
The three black kids,
Oh,
yeah,
I love those characters. They're so funny. Like they all have my favorite
they're
jokes.
very funny.
They're very funny.
Um, and like, I mean,
Their cursing is so funny.
a
So
big
funny.
part of what makes this one so good too is the narrator.
The
The
narrator's
narrator
also
that
good.
keeps popping in and doing his who I can't figure out. I can't find who it's played by. Um,
I don't know actually. I don't know.
because I don't know if it. Oh, there it is. He's played by Rex Allen Jr.,
I don't recognize him by name. Also,
who
I
was
just
he?
realized while you're looking that up, we didn't talk about how it's always a diamond in Wake Up Dead Man.
Huh?
When the thing that they wanted was a diamond, It's always a
Oh yeah, yeah.
diamond. It's always a
Is it
diamond.
always a diamond?
It's always a
Interesting.
diamond. No, I just mean
So
generally in
apparently,
movies like that, it's always a diamond.
apparently, whoever this guy was, he was a big singer. He's a singer.
Probably a
He had a
famous.
bunch of different
Someone's
albums.
someone's yelling in our comments, being like, "He's a famous country singer, you uncultured heathen swine."
He's definitely a singer of some sort. But no, yeah, I mean, this is an example of like, yeah, he's playing two different characters. And
Yep,
that's impressive to me.
that is impressive. I mean, it's Jim Carrey. It's not like it's impressive, but like it's also Jim Carrey. You're right. He's done similar stuff. I don't think this was crazy well received. This is also the Farley brothers who did Me, Myself, and Irene. So it's that kind of like
I mean,
outrageous, outrageous
if you
R-rated
define
comedy.
success by money, budget 51 million, box office 149 million.
You gotta double your budget, so you double it.
That's why I say I don't know if you would consider that to be a huge success, but
Nominal.
it made its money back.
It made its
So
money back, kinda. Yeah, nominal, nominal. I mean, there's a reason why it's not super well. I mean, hey, maybe it is. Maybe it's super well remembered. I started to say that. I
um
was like, oh, maybe it is.
yeah, I'm trying to controversy. uh apparently it had some controversy with the National Alliance on Mental Illness.
Yeah, yeah, because that's not. It's not how
That's not how
disassociative.
dissociative identity disorder
No, it's
works.
absolutely not how dissociative. I think they call him paranoid schizophrenic. I think at one point, and
Something like that, yeah.
it's not. It's he's not. That's not how schizophrenia works. There's a real bad like. And to be fair, I was one of those people who used to think that, but there's a real bad what's the word, um, reputation, representation in the media where people have this false impression that schizophrenia is multiple personality disorder are the same thing. They're not. They're not the same thing.
But
Exactly. They're not the same thing.
um I also spent a large chunk of the movie trying to figure out where I knew Irene from,
It's Renee Zellweger.
Renee Zellweger, and
It's
I
Renee.
still can't
Renee.
specifically figure it out.
It's Renee
But
Zellweger. What do you know Renee Zellweger from? I know her from lots of things that I don't think you've seen.
I
She's got.
came to realize that I recognize her because growing up, I think my mother owned Bridget
Yeah,
Jones's Diary,
She's Bridget Jones. She's also one of the fish
and
in that Shark Tale movie.
so yeah, I wouldn't know her from that. So I think that's why I always recognized her, is because I recognized her from the
Yeah,
cover of
she's
that.
definitely Bridget Jones.
But yeah, no, I don't have much more to say about it. It's good. It's good.
It's good. So my next one.
I'm not gonna
Uh,
say that it's my favorite Jim Carrey movie, but like I
it's not the number
I
23.
yeah. I also didn't I didn't want to pick like Pet Detective or one of the obvious ones. I wanted one that was a little weird.
All right. Jordan. Jordan. Initially, I had a different Jordan. She drugs me to keep me a vegetable. Jordan. Um,
Nobody's gonna get that.
it's
I
probably,
get that,
probably for the
but
best.
nobody's gonna get that.
I initially had something different, and then I changed it because I was editing videos last week, and I was like, oh yeah, I said I'd watch this, and so then I did. And we're gonna cue in right now. Last week, where Jordan said part of what he had to say about this, just to remind you about the lead up to this. Now, wow, that was such a long time ago, a week ago, wasn't it? Look,
I mean,
we aged
the
so
movie has
much.
largely probably already left my mind by this point, so
This Jordan
it was that long ago.
is missing, and this is a sequel, kind of, sort of, to,
Not really. It just takes place in the same world.
but it doesn't kind of. So this movie reveals that the plots of the John Chu one, which the name of which is escaping me. What was it? What was that?
Searching or something?
Searching. The plots of Searching,
I think.
the John Chu movie it was revealed in this movie is an episode of a true crime show on Netflix. Very immediately they're like, that version of it was based on real events in the universe in this movie.
Yeah, which they then call back to at the end as
They call
well.
back at the end where this
When
movie becomes an episode of that show.
yeah, yeah.
And my thing with this one is, now this one does this one. Okay, number one, we're gonna spoil the shit out of it. I'll do the non-spoiler version of it here. Go watch this movie; it's pretty good. It's not as good as Searching. It's not. As
No,
good as Searching.
that was my thing. Is I was
It's
like,
just not.
I don't
For
I don't
reasons
think it's
that
as good as the first one, but or first one, whatever you want to
it's
call
still
it.
highly entertaining, and the mystery is still fun. So like,
Yeah.
I have to spoil it.
That's where
in order to talk about
when you
it.
were like, does it have as good of a twist as the first one? Like you said to me, without giving away any spoilers, and I'm like,
Sort of, but it gets to be okay. So big twist. Big twist is so the story of this very quickly is that the mom goes on vacation and she
and
disappears
goes missing.
and goes missing along with the boyfriend. And instead of the parent looking for a kid, it's now a kid looking for a parent. But like arguably way worse because like they're disappeared in Europe, so the stakes are way higher, way quicker. Colombia, yeah. So the stakes are way higher.
Not Europe.
Whatever. The stakes are way higher, way quicker. Whereas in the movie, in the first one, it allowed it to kind of expand slower because her being missing, it could be like them missing each other could happen. Like whereas like she might be at school, he might be at work. Like there was the chance that it would take longer for him to realize she was missing. Whereas this, like she shows up to the airport and they're not there, and it's immediate. So then so for most of the movie, it's making it look like the mom has this big secret past and like she's a criminal, and then it slowly reveals that.
See, that's where it's interesting because I more saw it as for the good chunk of the movie they want you to think it's the boyfriend that
Oh no, for the
disappeared
large
her.
chunk of it, they want you to think it's the boyfriend, and then they reveal that the boyfriend is a criminal who was in jail, but then they say that she knew that and that she was okay with it, and they show that he told her about it and that she was okay
that
with
didn't
it.
to me that didn't exonerate him
But that,
as a potential
it
suspect.
didn't exonerate him. He was still a potential suspect, but there's a point where they're like, oh, she changed her name and she's got this huge secret past.
Yeah, they definitely made you want to think that the mother had been up to
But-
something for sure.
But like it was the big thing for me was it was like, the part of the problem with this movie is I've seen the first. If you haven't seen the first one, I suspect this would be a different experience because I'm looking for this to escalate because it's a sequel, right? Like you can watch this having never watched the first one, and I think you'd have a different experience because I'm like
See, that's where it's interesting.
I'm waiting for like a big and to be fair, there is a big reveal, but like I'm waiting for it to happen. It's like you said, I'm waiting for it to happen.
And see, that's where it's kind of interesting because we had a slightly different experience because when I watched this, and at least until like halfway through, I didn't know that it was a sequel.
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize that, right? Like I just thought that it was another movie that was made in that style. I thought that movie had inspired someone to then make another movie in this style, and we're seeing like a new kind of like a Taken situation where like then you have the other movies that are like Taken, but they're not made by the same person who made Taken. You know what I mean?
I do, and so the boyfriend felt like another uncle, where I'm like, this feels like it's and so
Interesting.
This feels like it's meant to be a red herring, and it was the same thing with I immediately was suspicious of law enforcement because last time it was law enforcement was hindering this, so I immediately had all sorts of suspicions about the FBI, and then there was just I had suspicions of the
I will say, before we get to who it actually was, I will say I didn't see that coming.
Not in the way that it was revealed, no. But like there's just so many, like they introduced a character from who's over in Colombia, who is a Postmates driver that's just helping her unmotivated. So I thought he was
unmotivated. She pays him.
Yeah, but it's just like he's like too nice and too helpful, and this is that kind of movie. So I was expecting a twist involving him that just never came, And
See, that's what's funny is he's like the one character that I didn't suspect.
he was suspicious to me. I was like, there's something off about him, and then there just ends up being nothing. And yeah, the plan is okay. Yeah, it's a big reveal. She phones who she thinks is a leader of a halfway house with the husband or that the boyfriend has gone to, and it turns out that that guy is actually her dad, who you think at the beginning of the movie they do and they do a similar thing to the previous movie where they open with the home video and you think that the dad died of a brain tumor, and so does
Mm.
she thinks her dad died of a brain tumor, and it turns out that no, actually her dad didn't die of a brain tumor, and
And
he
that's what her mom has been lying to her
yeah,
about
that's
all
what
this
mom has been
time.
lying about, and that her dad's actually an abusive drug addict piece of shit who has been searching for the mom for years. No, has been in prison because she testified against him. I'm as near as I can ascertain. He
And
had
they
a
were in witness of protection.
yeah, he had a bunch of drugs and she tattled. She ratted on him, and he got busted, sent to jail, and they got put into witness protection, and he has just gotten out of jail and has found them, has located them, despite having been in jail for 10 years. Somehow
Which
manages to
which
find
which
them.
as an aside, if they're in witness protection and he found them, that witness protection is terrible.
Right? And then he like the one thing with this movie, the reason why it's not as good as the first one is the scheme is a step too elaborate.
Mm.
It's a
I can see why
little
you'd say
too
that.
elaborate. So he like whereas in the first one, she it's an accident, and the cover up is because she thinks something has happened, and there's a reasonable explanation for everything. In the end, and that's what makes the twist so good, is because you're in that movie expecting it to be a bigger twist than it is, and that's what
Mm.
makes it a big twist. It's so stunningly like, oh my god, why didn't we think of this? And that's what makes it
Yeah.
so brilliant. That's what this one, the scheme is so okay. So he met the boyfriend in jail, somehow convinced the boyfriend to seduce his ex-wife, convince her to go on this trip, and then at the same time hire an actress to who doesn't really look anything like the mom to pretend to be the mom on this Colombian vacation to propose it as her, so the ex-husband can kidnap her and hold her hostage and then inevitably murder her. But then, like, okay, if we were just gonna murder her anyway, why the elaborate plan to make it look like she went to Colombia? It's
I guess so.
never.
So nobody would think to hunt him. Also, probably because and this seemed to be a big point in this is he was upset he was upset that the ex-wife had taken his daughter and lied for all those years. So I think maybe the plan was his wife goes missing in Colombia and then he can come back into her life and be like, "Oh, I was actually alive all this time and your mom lied to you and she was the bad person," and poison her against the mom and step back into her life and come back and be
I guess.
in her life.
I
My
also.
thing, my thing is like, so there's the part where the daughter then finds out and about it all, and like he ties her up, and it's like, okay, so what's your plan here? You
Yeah.
want her to love you, you have her tied up, it's never gonna happen. Like,
Yeah, he's got her
what's
splayed out on her stomach at one point. He's on top of her, and I went, "Whoa, what's happening? What's happening here? I don't like these actions and the way she's screaming. This has an implication that I don't like. I don't like this." And like the it being the movie being told entirely on social media chats
it
and
doesn't work as well in
it
this
is
one.
not working in this. It's absolutely not working. Like the entire climax is contrived. Like like he's got a website where he's watching it all and communicating secretly so that it can be on a web thing. Or like one
Yeah.
point, the entire climax is like on a tablet. It's so forced to keep like it didn't need
I
this.
mean, there are a couple points in this one where they're not on screen, but it doesn't really.
It's not working because
They needed more of those.
yeah, the concept like, it's just yeah, it doesn't work as well as the first one where the first
It
one was
made
real like
sense in the first one
yeah,
for it to all
absolutely.
be on a computer. This one, it just doesn't in the same way.
Yeah, it's just not working. Like I say, it's just Like, yeah, it's a
Most
decently
of it
clever.
is, but
It's
there's chunks where it just
it's
doesn't.
just, yeah. And like you say, the some of her like aha I figured it out moments are really unbelievable. It just yeah it's one of those movies where it's written to be shocking and it's written to have a twist, and its twist is not happening organically. Whereas the
Mm,
first movie, it felt organic. This
hmm
didn't. That's not to say no, I feel like I'm shitting on it, but it's good.
Oh,
It's
I
good.
still had
I
fun
was
with it. It was
very
still
entertained,
good.
and the twists were
It's just
fun.
if the original is a 9 for me, this is like an 8
This is an eight,
or a
yeah,
7.
7.5, 8. I would go. You know,
Yeah, you know.
if I were to do numbered ratings, because like yeah, I will say the twist of him being alive was solid. Like when the
Yeah,
guy from the original turned out to be your dad, I was like, that's a solid twist.
I didn't see that coming.
His subsequent scheme, it's one of those shower thought starts to fall apart the more you think about it kind of
Mm,
movies. But as a twist itself, it's totally solid. Big twist.
big
Big
twist.
twist. That's it. That's missing. That's my final rapid fire.
Okay, my final rapid fire is 2009. So you see, I really had a range there. And this was Astro Boy.
I like Astro Boy. I can't
This
believe
was
Astro Boy is
one.
not a bigger franchise in the West. I just don't understand why it's not. Like this was a real attempt to like rebrand him in the West, and he's like a reasonably popular character in Japan, but he's just never, for whatever reason, he's never caught on.
Yeah, he's one of those characters where I only know about him because of this movie.
It's funny. I know.
Quite honestly.
There was a cartoon from either the eighties or nineties maybe, but I knew about him before this.
Yeah,
It,
this is based on a cartoon. It's also a manga
it's a
series,
manga.
but
It's an adaptation of Pinocchio. Is the idea? It's the
basically, yeah.
yeah. It's this artist, the artist who created his interpretation of Pinocchio. Is basically what it is.
Um, but yeah, just
This
talking
movie,
about
in my
this
opinion, is
movie.
underrated. It is. It's well animated. It's clever. I think Freddie Highmore plays Astro Boy. It desperately wants to be a franchise, and it's a real shame. I remember going. The thing is funny because the reason why you've seen
Yeah,
this is because I knew who
Freddie
Astro
Highmore.
Boy was, and I got stoked on this, and we went to watch it.
It also
Um,
has Kristen Bell.
oh yeah, yeah. I think I also
She's
think
Cora and Nicolas Cage
I was gonna say yeah,
and
Nicolas
Samuel
Cage is
Jackson.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Really? That he was Samuel Jackson? That I didn't
I
know.
remember Nicolas Cage is basically Doctor Light.
Oh, and of course it has I mean it has a lot. It's a pretty star-studded cast. You got Bill Nye as Dr. Elfin. You've got
Bill Nye
Nate
the Science Guy.
no, like Bill Nye
Oh,
B
Bel Nye,
N
the guy who was
Nighy.
yeah, Nye, yeah, the guy who was Davy Jones in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Interesting. I thought when I saw that name, maybe I'm thinking of a different person, but I was thinking, no, I am thinking of the person. He was also in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I think so. Yeah, he's also if you
Um,
watch Doctor Who and you've seen the
Also
episode with
Nathan Lane.
oh yeah,
You got Nathan Lane. He's a pretty iconic. You got
yeah, he's
Timon in
the
this.
he's the guy who if you remember that episode of Doctor Who with Van Gogh, he's the museum director.
Yeah. We are thinking of the same one. Really, Charlize Theron was in this as well.
Charlie Sarion.
Moises
Charlie
Arias,
Sarion.
Disney. Yeah, just a lot of well-known people that you know. Ellie Fanning,
Yep,
um,
bunch of people you know.
Ryan Stiles as Mr. Mustachio, Toby's teacher.
Ryan Stiles.
Um, Point being, this movie is cute. It was fun, and it was kind of disappointing that there was never a sequel. Was there a plan?
I know. Yeah, it did not make the money.
Doesn't say anything about a
I
planned sequel either.
this was one of those
There was a video
ones.
game, though.
I worked at the movie theater when this was out, and this was one of those ones that
During the age of
I
PlayStation 2.
I watched, and there was never anyone in it. It was always empty. It's like that in
Yeah, this was one of
Ratatouille. Not
those movies
Ratatouille.
where, so back in the
Harold
day on my
Testero.
PSP, I had you had the thumbstick where you would be able to put movies on it, and this was one of the movies that was constantly on there. So I've seen this movie way more times than is probably reasonable for the quality of movie it is. Um,
Which is to
Not to
say,
say,
all right.
it's I mean it wasn't, and I think this was kind of ultimately the problem, is it wasn't like reinventing the wheel or anything. It
No.
wasn't, it was a fairly standard movie for the 2000s. I just happen to like this one.
Yeah, this is a franchise that I think is just suited probably better for. Like, I just can't believe they've never tried to make a cartoon, like a Netflix show. Like, I'm surprised there isn't like a 6 episode Netflix show that's
2 months from now.
that's better than it has any right to be. Kind of anime.
Yeah, like a Thundercats.
Yeah, or the Tekken anime that they made,
Yeah, or another example.
or third example,
There's
or
probably there's
fourth
probably at
example.
least a third. There's probably at least a third example that we're not thinking of.
There's
In the
gotta be at
chat,
least a
tell us
third.
a third example.
I mean, yeah, let's know. A third example.
But that's Astro Boy.
Astro Boy. Okay.
It did not do well though, by
It
box
did.
office wise.
It,
I will say.
it did not. First, first have not seen Jordan. First have not seen is a little movie called.
You mean first have seen,
That's what I
Justin?
meant.
You got to do it in the correct
That's what
order.
I
Do it
meant.
right.
First have seen, and
Use
that
take two.
is Kong Skull Island.
I
Jordan, have you seen this movie?
think so.
We did not watch.
I think
this
I, I
in
think I
theaters.
think I think I watched it for this show.
Did you? All right, fair enough. I really like this movie. I think this movie is another example of I think I don't know what it is. By the time this came out, I wasn't really into it. Like, I didn't watch this in theaters. I didn't really have a motivation to watch a King Kong, and I just don't think that people are like at the time that movie came out were really into King Kong all that much. So I just don't think it did. I think it did okay because obviously they continued on the franchise. It's very much it exists in the same universe as the Godzilla movies.
Oh, this movie exists only so that, and let's be fair, because you're right, King Kong wasn't that big at the time. This movie only exists to bring King Kong back into the zeitgeist so they can have a Godzilla Kong movie and have people actually be excited for
Pretty
it.
much, because I mean that's what this ends with. This ends with it sets up. It's got a stinger that sets up the next Godzilla movie where it has.
Yeah.
They see a bunch of cave paintings of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah.
That's why this movie exists. That, I
But
mean,
that there's so many just from like it's a beautiful movie. It's a really good Vietnam movie. Like, one of my favorite characters in this movie is you got Sam Jackson as the bad guy, who's a guy who just he's a soldier in Vietnam, but just can't let go of the war and needs something to fight. He just needs something to fight and kill, and he's just completely unhinged. They show up basically to explore this island, and this if, I can't remember if it was you or Jake asked where the Hollow Earth thing came from. It's this movie. This is the movie where the Hollow Earth thing came from. So they go to Kong Skull Island to search for evidence of the Hollow Earth, and that's the inciting incident of this movie. And you've got John Goodman, you've got Tom Hiddleston, you've got Brie Larson. I
remember this movie being boring.
It's a lot of like them walking through the woods kind of movie where it's just walking and walking and walking.
So boring.
But like no, when action happens, it's sick. Like, all of the Kong shit in this is phenomenal. It's all good. When he first shows up and he's massive and he just murders half of the squad as he destroys all of their helicopters is legitimately intimidating and kind of frightening. There's a bit at the end where he, spoiler alert, you find out that he's basically protecting the world from these giant, like, I can't remember what they call them, but they're like basically
Kaiju?
big spiders, giant kaiju monsters things. And there's a part where he fights a big one at the end where he's got a tree and he takes the tree and he just like runs his hand along it and takes off all that goes and takes off all of the leaves or whatever, and it's just a
The
stick.
needles.
Yeah, it's a pine tree, so he just does that. It takes off all the needles and he just starts beating this thing with a stick. And like all of the kaiju fights in this are great. They're all fun. The creature designs are fun and they're good. Tom Hiddleston.
And one of the things I remember being strong about it is because he's an ape, he's smarter than Godzilla, so they reflect that in his fighting style.
He uses tools. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing I remember.
This movie, it's got some real obnoxious needle drops. Can't stand bad needle drops, and there's so many of them in this. What else? Yeah, it's a shame that they never. Apparently, John Goodman came back in Monarch, but I think that they should find a way to have Tom Hiddleston step through a portal because he's really good in this. He's really charismatic. Have him step through a time portal, and now he's in the modern day.
Oops.
Is there anything else about?
Oh, that's silly.
Yeah, no, it's I definitely one of my favorite. I think it might be my favorite Kong movie, although I really like the original. The original is probably one of my favorite movies, so it's hard. I definitely enjoy this more than I did the Peter Jackson one. I'm gonna have to do the Peter. I almost did the Peter Jackson for this, but it's 2.5 hours and it's just really dull.
I remember that one being very
It's
dry.
very dry and very dull, and there's like three good scenes in it, and they're all at the end. I just remember
Was in the end, 'twas beauty that killed the
was
beast.
Beauty killed. Oh yeah, also Kong. He's into Brie Larson, making him one of the only people who likes Brie Larson.
Oh, I don't know if you can make that joke.
Can I make
I
that
think the
joke?
internet's I think the internet's gonna come at you.
Uh,
All the feminists are gonna
but
be upset.
yeah, Kong once again demonstrating that he's got a type, and that type is blonde white woman.
I mean, can you blame them?
I mean, I don't know.
I also like blonde white women.
I do like blonde white women. I like all women.
I mean, sure, but I don't want to fuck all women.
All right, that was a weird thing you just said.
Blonde white women.
Blonde white woman. That's
Anyways,
that's Kong Skull Island.
uh, that's the end of that one. Okay, moving on. We're gonna talk about another movie that has a blonde white woman, and that is a. It's important that you know that because as I said that line, I was looking at the poster which has her on it, and I was anyway. Charlize Theron is a very beautiful woman, is all I'll say. Um,
True.
I watched A Million Ways to Die in the West,
She is a
which
blonde white
is
woman.
I think it's a really good movie. I genuinely really enjoy this movie.
Okay. Really good is maybe a strong word. I remember I went to watch it with a friend, and I think I was the one who suggested it, and he walked out. Friend's dad who walked out and said it was one of the worst movies he's ever seen. I don't think it's a
I mean,
perfect movie. I don't think it's a
oh,
flawless movie.
I didn't say it was perfect. I didn't say it was flawless. I said it was really good. I like the comedy.
Yeah, it's one of those like it's all going to depend on whether or not Seth MacFarlane's sense of humor works for you. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we have a similar sense of humor. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of one-liners in this that just make me laugh.
people
Like
die at the fair.
people die at the fair. People die at the fair, or uh, his entire speech about how the Wild West is the worst place to
It's
live
just
in
an
the world.
awful place to die.
And
There,
then
that corpse over there is our town's highest ranking official. Oh, as if to make my point, literal wolves have come to drag away the body.
literal
Goodbye,
wolves.
Mr. Mayor. Goodbye.
Have fun being wolf shit. Goodbye. Oh my god. The black shit.
Um, or I mean, there's the fact that it references Back to the Future,
Yeah.
Doc Brown opening. Like, there's a lot to like in this movie.
I mean,
If you like Seth MacFarlane's style of
I
humor.
enjoy Liam Neeson who has a an Irish accent.
Irish.
Which
Because
that's
his
what-
one condition for being in this movie was that he had to be allowed to just have his normal
Yeah,
accent.
because there's a joke, there's a cutaway in a Family Guy episode where it's Liam Neeson in a western, and it's just him with his regular accent. And he thought it was the funniest thing
That's
ever.
funny.
And he was like, "If I'm gonna do this movie, that's the one condition."
And I mean, yeah, it's just a lot of self-referential when it comes to
Oh my
Western,
god, they're
poking fun
so
at it.
precious.
Um, the fact that Sarah Silverman is a saloon style whore
Yeah,
who who is like a devout Christian and doesn't want to sleep with her boyfriend or her whatever because they can't go against the Lord. And that's a funny bit.
that's why you gotta do it.
Um,
That's why you gotta do it in the back door, Jordan. The Lord doesn't see the back door. He only sees the front
it's
door.
God's secret.
It's God's little secret, Jordan. Oh god, we're going to
Um,
hell, aren't we?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Obviously, that was definitely in the cards if it exists. But yeah, no, it opened to mixed to negative reviews from
Yeah,
critics.
it pretty much
Um,
stalled his filmmaking career because I think he made Ted 2, and the only reason why he was able to make Ted 2, he got the money and the juice to make this because Ted 2 was a massive hit, like a massive hit, and so they were like, well, you could do whatever you want for your second movie, and he said this for some reason, and then this bombed horribly, and the only reason why they made Ted 2 was because Ted 1 made so much money, and then Ted 2 bombed, and that pretty much killed his movie career.
yeah, this had a budget of
The
40
reason why Ted's
million.
a TV show.
This had a budget of 40 million. Do you want to guess what the box office is?
Well, you double it, so you can say it got a budget of 40 million, so it's actually 80 million, and I'm gonna guess it probably made like 40 million.
No, at 87.2 million.
Yeah, so yeah, big bomb, big bomb.
Um, but I don't care
T-
because I like it.
did not make its money back. Mustache dance, mustache dance.
Yeah, part of what made this movie funny was the references. So I already mentioned the Back to the Future reference, but it also had a Django Unchained
Yeah,
reference in it.
people die at the
So
fair.
post credit scene, Django Freeman shows up to challenge the runaway slave game, but he shoots the owner instead.
And he says that people die at the fair.
People die at the
People
fair.
die at the fair.
Great reference.
Solid
Great,
reference.
very lot of fun.
A
Lot
lot
of
of fun.
fun.
Had a lot of fun.
Was there any other? Oh, apparently, I didn't realize that. So there's a bunch of cameos in this. I didn't realize Ryan Reynolds has an uncredited cameo in this. He's a man Clinch kills in the saloon. Is there any other
That makes
good
sense because
ones?
he was also in Ted. He had an uncredited cameo in Ted as well.
Gilbert Gottfried, Christopher Lloyd as Doc Brown.
Mustache man.
Oh yeah, Bill Mayer as the traveling comedian. Ian McGregor as a cowboy who mocks Albert at the fair. Kaylee Kuko, uncredited, unrated version only, is a woman that Albert tries to pick up in a store.
That
Patrick Stewart
that's funny.
is uncredited as a long-legged sheep
Yeah, he's one of the sheep.
seen during Albert's drug trip.
Yep, he's one of the sheep.
But the point is I am not gonna lie, I kind of wish there had been a sequel.
I totally would have watched the sequel to this.
I would have watched it.
I'd be like, I had a
I
good
would
time
have
watching
watched
this.
I would have watched a movie or a sequel called A Million and One Ways to Die
That would have been fun.
in the
I want
West.
see I want Seth MacFarlane to do a buddy comedy in the modern day where he's just Seth MacFarlane. Like
I mean, that would be
I
hilarious.
kind of want him to do one where it's like he does a Curb Your Enthusiasm where he plays himself. I think that'd be funny.
But that's A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Million Ways to Die in the West. Okay, Jordan. My next one. I have to ask you. You will rock them. This is a Knight's Tale.
That's not a question. That was a statement. You just said you will rock them. Where's the question?
There was a question mark at the end when I went, you will rock them.
Yes, I will.
Jordan, this is a Knight's Tale. Have you seen A Knight's Tale?
That's the one with Jared Leto, right?
Not Jared Leto. That's funny you said Jared Leto. You're close. Wrong Joker.
A Knight's Tale?
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Nope.
Not Jared Leto. The one who's in A Dark Knight.
Yep. You had the right idea. You just have the wrong Joker.
Yeah, why am I blanking on who played him in The Dark Knight? That's bad. Why am I blanking on him?
You want me to tell you? Or you want me to let you flounder some more?
I want you to let me flounder for a couple more seconds.
Okay. You know it. It's right there.
I do know it. It's right there. Jared.
Not Jared.
Fuck me. Tell me. What is it? I'm gonna be like, yeah, no shit.
Heath Ledger.
That's it. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you had the right. You
Why
totally had the right idea.
I knew it was
Totally had
him too.
Yeah. I know. That's when you said Jared Leto. I knew you're thinking of Heath Ledger.
I don't know why.
I'm gonna give it to you because it's like you knew the right answer. You just didn't have the name right.
I'm picturing he has the blonde hair.
Yeah, blonde hair,
I know.
yeah.
And Alan Tudyk or whatever is also in that movie.
He's in there and he's a ginger and it's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
bizarre. He's got a
I know
very
the exact
weird
movie.
energy
Yes.
in that movie.
Short version is yes, I've seen that movie.
It's got the guy who played Fred Flintstone in Viva Rock Vegas in it, and he was in that one sitcom.
I'll take your word on that one, but no, yeah, no, yes, I've seen that movie.
It's got
I like that movie.
One of the bad guys from I couldn't figure out why I recognized him, but I recognized him. It's weird. It's such a weird movie because all of the characters speak with this like almost Shakespearean accent, and the dialogue is very Shakespearean. But it's got some of the most obnoxious needle drops I've ever seen in my life. Where like at one point they're singing We Will Rock You." Like the movie opens with they're singing "We Will Rock You," and like they're doing the bump bunch, bump bunch, bump bunch, and you're like, okay, that's oddly anachronistic, but all right, I could maybe
Sounds
see my way to
sounds like
believe.
a sounds like a real smells like Teen Spirit situation.
Kinda, but you're like, okay, well now I could maybe believe that perhaps like you could like believe that maybe they did some sort of crowd chant that maybe vaguely resembled the "We Will Rock You" one.
Music.
But then one of the characters literally starts singing the lyrics to "We Will Rock You," and at that point it's like, wait, what? And it keeps waffling between trying like one of the characters, the Paul Bettany is in it as a writer, and
Oh yeah, he's the poet. Isn't he a poet?
well, he's a poet slash writer. So
Right,
he
right, right,
he
right, right.
shows up and he's based on a real person. Well, his character is a real person. His character. So this movie is based on a story that was written back in medieval times called A Knight's Tale. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, that guy, the author who wrote that story, that's who Paul Bettany is playing. So at the end of the movie, he goes, "I think I'm gonna write a story about this one day," and they all
Oh,
laugh
and
at
it's
him like
supposed to be a wink and
to the
wink
fact that he writes a
cunning.
story based upon this one day. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, so every time it tries to like be like, nah, this is supposed to be like, but I was like, is the fact that there's a couple of other needle drops that are weird and anachronistic that are not coming to me, and I was like, is this intentional? And then you read about it, it's like, yes, it's very much supposed to be like an intentional use of anachronisms to like keep you off guard or whatever. But I'm like, it's so weird. But yeah, the number one thing is Heath Ledger was charming. He was so charming. Like, he is so charming in this movie. The relationship between him and the girl is cute. Paul Bettany and Alan Tudyk have a really fun back and forth and relationship that develops over the course of the movie. It's definitely one of those stories where you're like, oh yeah, right. This is medieval times. So like pictures didn't exist. So knowing what a person looked like was sort of like you could get away with showing up and being like, yeah, I'm that guy. And nobody would necessarily know that you
Yeah, they
weren't.
couldn't call you on your shit.
The only way that they could is like a big part of the plot of this is he wants to be a jouster but he can't because he's not a knight, and so they forge papers for him so he can pretend he is one. And throughout his jousting, he runs into the prince who's in disguise and is pretending that he's not the prince so he doesn't have to be the prince. And the climax of this is obviously Jordan. He's pretending to be someone else. So obviously the climax of this is
Everyone finds out the truth.
everyone finds out the truth because it's just that kind of movie.
They find out that Prince Abubu is not actually Prince Abubu and he's actually Aladdin
Yeah,
and
pretty
Street Rat.
much. Yeah, pretty much. And so randomly, he's in the stockades being punished for pretending to be Prince Abubu, and the king out of nowhere shows up and is like, you know what? I respect you, son, for being really good at jousting. So I now dub thee Sir William. You're now a
Now you're
knight.
actually a
You're
knight.
actually a knight now. Go have fun. Have fun, kids. Go have fun. Go do a big jousting tournament. And it's really
And then he
really
comes from
silly.
behind and he wins and he earns the respect of all the other knights because they're like, "Oh, he has the heart of gold that we needed all
And you
along."
can change your stars. You can change your station in life.
You
You
don't
can be
need a
better.
genie to make you into a prince when we can just convince the sultan to change the law.
He's the Sultan. Why couldn't he change the law? But no, this movie is underrated. It was way more fun than I remember. And the funny thing, my funny story about this movie is the first time I watched it was in 8th grade humanities. You were,
But why?
like 8th grade, and we were in the section where we were learning social studies, and we were learning about feudal Europe and about the knight
This is
caste
not a good
system.
representation of that.
And she put it on, and her description of it was it's slightly romanticized. Don't take it 100% at face value, but this is kind of what it was like. This I'd hazard that this
I mean,
is not what it was like.
I mean, I think your teacher just wanted to watch a Heath Ledger movie.
Just wanted to watch A Knight's Tale. To be fair, this was the same. I'm gonna say a name, and then maybe Mrs. Jones at McNair.
Did I have her as a teacher?
I don't think you ever did. But she also showed us The Mummy, randomly and claimed it had educational value. And that was the first time I'd ever watched The
Fuck.
Mummy. Was in eighth grade humanities class for some reason.
It just seems like she wanted to watch movies.
It just seemed like she really wanted to watch a Brendan Fraser movie. Or in this
I
case,
mean, hey man,
hey,
what?
Alec, I'm not blaming you. Heath Ledger was a handsome dude. Yeah, the world really lost out when he passed away because he was really talented. And yeah, there's other
He
movies
was.
like this.
He was.
He's easily the best performance in this movie. I don't know him, Alan Tudyk, and
We'll never, we'll
Paul
never,
Bettany is really good in this. He's
we'll
really
never
good.
get that dope ass Justice League movie where all of the bad villains come together to form the injustice, not injustice, the what is it, the
It depends.
something of
In
evil,
Injustice League
Doom
Injustice League is technically one of them. I think the Joker was.
League. No,
You're
Injustice League is when it's the Justice League, but they go to a parallel universe and they're evil.
No, that is
Um,
that is a to be fair. These names are interchangeable. You're thinking of the Legion of Doom, but
yeah.
technically speaking, the Joker was technically in the Injustice League at one point.
I was thinking of the Legion of Doom though. We missed a dope ass scene in a Justice League movie where we had the Legion of Doom and you have Heath Ledger's Joker teaming up with a bunch of other
Yeah, I'd like to think
equally
that yeah,
dope.
he would have come back and they would have brought him back to be the Joker in something else. I mean, apart from the sequel where he was definitely supposed to be in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a Knight's Tale. It's fun. It's on Netflix.
So,
Netflix.
my second have seen um is another Jim Carrey movie. And it's one that it's probably one of my favorites,
Where
and
are
that's Yes
you?
Man.
Yes, man.
I wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
We could
Um,
cut ties
cut
with all the
ties with all the
lies that
lies
you've been
you've
living
been
in.
living in.
You gotta do it again.
Um,
You've been living in.
you've been living in.
And if you,
Um,
I would.
but so I really like this movie.
Based on a
Um,
book? This is based on a
yeah, it
book? Yeah.
is. It's based on a book.
Like a self help book?
It's a memoir of the same name,
Yeah, what?
which is by British humorist Danny Wallace,
He
who,
did not
as
say
an
yes
aside,
to everything.
also makes a cameo appearance in the movie.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. I just remember that
Um,
Terrence Stamp is in this and he has no shoes on.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
He's the guy who's like, and
Um,
you will say yes. The mountain must come to the molehill.
oh yeah, which is funny. Terrence Stamp, he plays Terrence.
Yes.
His character name is also Terrence.
That's funny.
Um,
That's funny.
but no, this movie was one of the first times. So it's in that range of what most of mine that I picked this week ended up being, because this came out in 2008. So I was still in high school when this came out, and so this was one of the first times where I really understood the term um, manic pixie dream girl,
Yeah, that's definitely what she is.
which is definitely what Zoe Deschanel in this is.
Yup.
She is your manic pixie dream girl, and she is part of she is a large part of what makes this movie enjoyable for me
Yup.
because she's adorable in this. Um,
I don't know. Jim Carrey.
and
To be fair, Jim Carrey's at this point in his what I call his insecure comedy era, where he's like he doesn't want to be overly over the top, but he knows he's Jim Carrey and he kind of has to be.
yeah, I yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like this is like
Um,
me, myself, and Irene, and fun with Dick and Jane is especially one of those.
Apparently, this movie received mixed reviews. Most critics saying it was too similar to Liar Liar,
Yep. Yeah.
which I kind of see.
Kind of see, but also that was magic. This is just his own choice.
Yeah, this is him being
He
crazy.
could stop saying yes at any time. He chooses not to.
But this movie did do very well.
It did.
Um,
It did.
budget of 70 million. Do you want to guess?
I mean, it was
Box
like
office.
160 million.
223.2 million.
160 milli?
223.2 million.
230.3
Um,
milli?
so it did pretty well. Don't think it had a sequel planned at any point.
Wow. I think
But
I thought I saw something about something involving it, maybe a remake or a show or something,
so
TV
that's
show.
an interesting question. If you made a new version or a different version of Yes Man, but it doesn't have to have Jim Carrey in it. Like you can recast. You can just
But
it's
it's
a
like this,
similar
it's a similar plot.
story.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think that could be fun.
But
I
that's
don't
just because I
even
want Daniel
know.
Radcliffe to do more comedies.
I don't even know who I would pick. Part of me, I do see a world where you have Zach Galifianakis do it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, maybe.
but I actually like yours better.
I'm
I
not.
think Daniel Radcliffe would be good for this.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not taking it.
Or Weird Al. It'd be funny to see Weird Al.
Or Weird Al. Jordan, did you see that Weird
Um,
Al was raging against the machine? Man,
in what way?
like he was singing a Rage Against the Machine song, like an actual
Oh,
Rage Against the Machine
oh,
song.
you mean, oh, no, no, I
He
did
was
not know that.
singing "Killing in the Name of." And Jordan, if Weird Al is raging against the machine, we have a
I mean,
problem.
despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
Still just a rat in the cage.
Um, so there, yeah, I mean, there's so much about this movie that I like. Jim Carrey, he kills it. Um, and one of the things that I walked away, there's a lot for me where this kind of hits a personal level, where near the end, where him and Zoe
Well, no, he
Deschanel have
thinks
their
it's
big.
magic. He thinks it's
Well,
magic.
he makes a covenant, and then the one time that he tries to say no to Tilly, his old neighbor who wants to have sex with him
Whoa, 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 whoa!
or
She
blow him or
does not want to
whatever.
have sex with him. She merely wants to provide him with oral pleasure, Jordan. There is a difference.
I don't know. I think she wants to have sex with him. He doesn't want to let it happen. Anyways, not the point. He tries to say no, and then like falls down the stairs and almost gets mauled by a dog, and that's where he thinks then at that point
Well,
it's like magic or covenant or
close
whatever,
your
and he
eyes.
can't. Um, but I really liked the spirit, the message of it, where so it gets to the end,
Sometimes you have to say no to
and
things, or yes to things you don't want to do.
Zoe Deschanel, and him had been fighting or whatever, and he goes to have the talk with her, and he's like, um, the philosophy might have flaws, but if I hadn't started saying yes to things, I never would have met you
Yeah,
because the old me didn't think that he was good enough or didn't think that he had anything worth sharing. And now I realize that I have a lot to share. That line and those scenes always kind of it really hit home.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and in kind of a personal way because I am notorious for not saying yes to things.
It's true.
Because I don't feel the confidence, because I don't feel the ability to do it, what have you. But so this movie it really kind of every time I watch it, I get that burst of like, oh, I should say yes to more things. I don't because I'm terrible about that, but it makes me feel like I should.
All right, Jordan, is that it for yes, man?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right,
man.
yes, man, Jordan. It's
Man.
time. It's time for our have not scenes.
Indeed.
And it was really funny because earlier this week, I had it listed on my list as GT Frankenstein, and without really asking why it was called GT Frankenstein, you referred to it as GT Frankenstein as if that was the actual name of the movie, which made me
Did
laugh.
I?
Yes, you did, because it's
I
not
don't
actually
remember
called
that.
GT Frankenstein. It's just called Frankenstein, and
Why
it's
did you call it GT
because it's
Frankenstein then?
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Oh.
And I can't
Oh.
pronounce that poor man's name, and I feel bad every single time. This
Mr. Del
is
Toro.
this is okay. In a sentence, this is obviously an adaptation of Frankenstein, and in a sentence, it's um,
Bad? Good?
it's basically like a book report of a person who watched the movie and chose to do a book report instead of actually reading the book and just doesn't understand Frankenstein. So, the basic
Have you ever
skeleton.
have you ever read the original story?
I have, yes.
Okay, so you are qualified to speak on
I've
that then.
certainly
I have
read
not.
I've certainly read variations of it. I've never read the actual original version of it because it's really dry.
Oh, then you
But
can't really talk about having
um,
not read the original
but
version then.
I've read this is gonna sound really dumb. I've read the Wishbone version of it, which is about as close as you're gonna get without actually reading the original. I'm aware of it enough to be like, this is different, and so the main skeleton of it is the same. And in terms of it's probably the most accurate in terms of its framing device because it very much has the framing device of the original book, which is it opens with um, explorer going to the North Pole and having this obsession, this obsessive journey, and happening to run upon Victor Frankenstein, who tells the story of how he created this creature and how he's up here looking for the creature and his life and all that jazz. Um, the differences in the details. So
Would you say the devil's in the
the devil is in the
details?
details. So and it also does the thing where in the original book, initially it tells you the story from Frankenstein's perspective, and then it swaps over and it tells you the story from the monster's perspective. It does that as well. Um, so yeah, the big difference here is unlike in the original where Frankenstein he's like outwardly a successful rich part of a successful rich family and has a ton of respect. His just like in the original book, his mother dies giving birth to his youngest brother, and so as a result, he becomes obsessed with the idea of bringing people back to life, and so that's why he creates Prometheus, the guy he's bringing back to life. Um, and so the big difference between this and the original book is in this he acquires a rich benefactor who is paying him to build this corpse, build the Frankenstein monster, and instead of him like sneaking around and like robbing graves, because the big thing is in the original book he's like grave robbing to get the parts for this creature. Um, it now takes place during like some sort of war, and the guy's just like funneling him body parts. So like there's a point where he goes to like a jail, and there's all these prisoners that are about to be hanged, and he's basically shopping. He's like, no, that's not quite right. The arm's too long. The whatever. He's like, yeah, I like it. And that's not what happens in the original book. And so then big twist, it's revealed that the guy who's been funding him, played by Christoph Waltz, that he basically was paying Frankenstein to build him a new body, and he wants Frankenstein to put his brain in the Frankenstein monster. And Frankenstein's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that because it turns out that this guy has syphilis. And he's like, I'm not going to put your syphilitic brain into my perfect creature or whatever. And so then, initially in the book, when Frankenstein creates the monster is horrifying and scary looking and monstrous. And so Frankenstein rejects the monster. And that causes the monster to go on this journey where he meets people and blah, 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 blah. And Frankenstein doesn't see the monster for quite a while. And the monster comes back and accidentally kills Frankenstein's brother, his little brother.
All this to say that that doesn't happen in this.
Well, he comes back and he kills the little brother. This is important. Kills the little brother and frames their babysitter. And eventually comes to a point where he's like, if you don't make me a Frankenstein's bride, I'm gonna kill you. I know I'm gonna kill Elizabeth, your fiance, the girl you're in love with. So in this version, Frankenstein doesn't reject the monster, and so the monster doesn't run off and become evil. He studies the monster for a bit, and then the monster like breaks like steel with like no strength, and so Frankenstein's like, oh, he's an evil monster, we have to destroy him. So he sets him on fire, and the Frankenstein's monster goes through the journey that's similar to the one he does in the book.
But Justin, fire bad.
And that sort of completely, yeah. There's a scene where Frankenstein's like fire bad, like it kind of misunderstands the original book, and so then he goes
Misunderstands or makes better.
So in this, William is now like he's a young adult and he's getting married to Elizabeth, not not Frankenstein. And so Frankenstein's monster comes back, and there's a lot of really cool sequences of like the Frankenstein's monster killing people that are brutal, and like there's a bit at the beginning where he shows up and he just tears apart the crew of the ship, and it's really well shot, and it's entertaining, and it's like, you know me, I like cartoonish violence, so it's cartoonishly violent. um and yeah, so the instead of the monster becoming a murderer, which is what he becomes in the original book, he's a nice guy throughout most of this. And like anytime anyone finds out about him in the original book, everyone is scared. But in this one, nobody is scared. Like there's a period where he becomes like the protector of the forest or whatever, and it just is not Frankenstein. And so then it ends with him and Frankenstein. They get to this big fight. Frankenstein gets shot. He gets saved by the ship or whatever. And they have a big, long, emotional, like, I'm real sad, and I'm real sad. I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry conversation. And they forgive each other. And then Frankenstein dies. And in this version, in the original version, the Frankenstein's monster just kind of wanders off into the ice and dies. Whereas in this version, it's revealed throughout over the course of the movie that he's invincible. And every time he tries to kill himself or otherwise hurt himself, he just regenerates and comes back to life. So he will,
so he's Solomon Grundy.
yeah, so he'll just live forever. He'll just endlessly live forever. And yeah, they're like Frankenstein's got, instead of just using lightning to bring the monster to life, there's a point earlier in the movie where he's brought to life several, I don't know what they're called, homunculus cadavers. Like it's like at one point he's doing a demonstration where he's brought,
Homunculus is probably the right word.
yeah, he's brought a body back to life, and he's demonstrating that it has all its motor function or whatever. And he's got this magic juice that he's got attached to it. And it's just like, yeah, it kind of missing the point of that book, and the idea of being like, this book was written in the early Victorian era, like early whatever century. Like the main theme about that book is basically how you shouldn't mess with God. And then to be fair, the movie does retain a bit of that, a little bit. But like the whole idea behind Frankenstein is supposed to be like, yeah, you shouldn't mess with God. That the Frankenstein's monster is an affront to God, and the monster murdering his family and killing him is basically supposed to be him being punished for his hubris, and that kind of gets lost, and by being like, no, the Frankenstein's monster is actually really good, and he's a pure soul kind of. It's not the worst and weirdest version of Frankenstein I've seen. That's probably still pretty handedly that play with Benedict Cumberbatch where Frankenstein's monster sexually assaults the girl at the end. That's still probably the worst version of this, but yeah, I don't know. There's never been a Frankenstein adaptation that I've been like, this nails the book. Like they always take their own weird take on it, and it just is always like, you kind of missed the point. Like I'm enough of a fan of that book that I'm like, there's never been a real good adaptation of this as far as I'm concerned. But someone will tell me I'm wrong, I'm sure. That's it. That's GT Frankenstein.
Probably.
It's Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Let's get the Frankenstein.
Let's get the Frankenstein out.
Okay, so my first have not seen. I don't actually have too much to say about this, but maybe you will. Is Seven Psychopaths.
Oh, I've seen it. I don't. It's one of those ones where I know I've seen it. I watched it once. I've retained very little of it, other than the performances are good.
Yeah. So basically,
it's a character piece. There's not much to say about it beyond the fact that, yeah, Christopher Walken. It's got Christopher Walken. It's got Sam Rockwell.
Colin Farrell, Woody
Harrelson. I recall that Sam Rockwell. Tom Watts.
Tom Waits. Abby Cornish, Olga Kurilenko,
I remember Sam Rockwell's really
Zeliko Ivanek.
He's really good in this. Christopher Walken's really good. I think this is the one where they do you need to come with me, and Christopher Walken's like, no, why not?
Yeah. This is.
I don't want.
No, it's I need you put up your hands.
No.
Basically, no. What do you mean no? I don't want to.
I don't want to.
But I'm telling you, I have a gun, and you have to. Well, I mean, shoot me then.
I don't care. Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm Christopher Walken.
I recall it's very similar. It being kind of similar to Pulp Fiction and another movie you haven't seen. Um, nope, not coming to me. It was a Robert Downey Jr. movie though. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
It was a kind of movie. It was the kind of movie where, um,
Were the Seven Psychopaths real? You asked me that question. I couldn't remember the answer to
yeah,
it.
it took me a while to kind of get it.
It's
Basically, one of the characters is like a writer, and he's writing to make a movie or something like that. And he has a friend, and basically he has an idea for the movie, but he doesn't have like an actual story. And the idea for the movie is it's about seven psychopaths.
yeah.
And so then he has a friend or has two friends, one of which is Christopher Walken and one of which is the other one
Sam
whose name
Rockwell.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think so. And they steal dogs and then find them and then collect the reward money. And they have this whole setup, like that's their whole shtick.
Gotcha.
And then they end up stealing Woody Harrelson's dog. And he is like a mobster. And so yeah, all throughout that,
Crazy. What you say?
the main dude is like using the inspirations of everything that's happening to write his movie, and it ends up where they're in the desert and there's a shoot off, and like they're in this one spot, and him and Christopher Walken want to make peace, but the other one is crazy and wants to have like one, like this is a great spot for like a final shootout. And like they have scenes where they're talking about how the movie should end, and they think that it should end with like them making peace and stuff. And he's like, no, you need to have like a big action shot. And then of course real life reflects the movie, and it's fine. It's a fine movie.
It's fine.
A little long.
It's fine.
Um and it took me a bit to get into it. Um
It's fine.
had a runtime of 110 minutes. Um, but budget 13.5 to 15 million, box office 33 million.
It's a
So
smaller
like,
budgeted movie. It did all right.
it was all right. Um,
It's not making a ton of
I
money.
I um yeah, I don't know. I don't know that
Yeah.
I don't know that like it's one that I'd be like, "Oh, you have to watch this." But like
You need.
you
You
could
can't
watch it.
fight the seven psychopaths.
That's Seven Psychopaths. That's really all I have to say about
All
that.
right. My final thingy of the thingy
I have
and the
not seen
thingy
of the week.
is a thingy where thingy does the thingy.
Mm.
No, actually,
Gonna,
this was technically originally a
gonna
rapid
need you
fire
gonna need you to stop saying thingy. It sounds weird.
thingy.
You're making
I'm not gonna lie,
you're
Jordan.
making
This was
you're making me
originally
uncomfortable.
this was originally just a rapid fire, and then I switched it so we could talk about the dead man sooner, so we would remember it. So this wasn't originally. I have not seen, so I don't have an exceptional amount to say about it. But this is Dog Man.
Dog Man.
I saw trailers for this movie so many times. I was like, I have to watch this movie. And
Yeah,
all the trailers,
if you hadn't picked this, I would have.
it looked really dumb, and it's honestly kind of brilliant. It's really funny. If you like Captain America, if you like Captain Underpants, like it's a tad like the characters.
Juvenile?
Yeah, and the characters say a joke and then explain the joke, and that's the joke. But like you kind of have to remember, like one of
It's
the
for
jokes, for
like
example,
11-year-olds.
one of the jokes, for example, is they're doing a big chase sequence at the beginning of the movie, and they crash into a crate of bees, and the crate explodes open, and just like a bunch of refrigerator magnet bees just like spill out. Um, yeah, they keep calling him a super cop, and it's
He's a super
He's
cop.
a super cop. There's kind of a weird moment at the beginning where like they make a point to introduce the body as its own as a character. He's a guy, and he dies, but like he's still alive. So like he gets into this accident that you see in the trailer, and like he's in the hospital and he's still alive, and they're like, well, the head's no good, and they merge into like its own being. So like the dog and the man no longer exist, and Dog Man now replaces them. It's sort of slightly but the thing you have to kind of remember about this movie is within about Dogman generally is Dogman is technically in the universe of Captain Underpants, written by George and Harold.
Hmm.
So it's a comic and a character that they created. So it's a story that doesn't end up coming out here, but in the books, it's a story written by children. So like, because I remember saying that about Five Nights at Freddy's 2 last week as being a bad thing. This feels like it's a movie written by children, but in this instance, it feels like it's intentionally written to mimic the style of a story that a child would write. So
Because it is.
it's because it is, and it works, and it's really funny. And so they about midway early, reasonably early. So there's a whole bit where he has a his arch nemesis is an evil cat named Petey, played by Pete Davidson, who is the Dogman's arch nemesis, and Dogman is really effective at capturing him and putting him in jail. And so there's a whole montage. Like, we have to do a montage. We can accomplish this in a montage. And there's a montage of him stopping the Petey the cat as he has more and more elaborate, like Looney Tunes, Wile E. Coyote style weapons with increasingly silly names that are all funny that I won't say because it ruins the joke. And he eventually discovers, or he decides that in order to stop, in order to defeat Dogman once and for all, that he needs to have a person who can. Oh, well, because throughout the movie, he has a little sidekick who keeps coming back, who keeps leaving and coming back because he refuses to pay her. And he's like, well, you being an evil sidekick should be good enough. He's like, no, I need real money to pay my rent.
I have bills.
And so he's like, oh, I'm going to get an even better sidekick. And so, yeah, so he decides to clone himself using this cloning machine that he buys through the mail order, a mail order cloning machine. Um, and so he clones
What could
himself,
possibly go wrong?
and the clone comes out, and it's a little kid instead of a fully grown clone. And he sees in the instructions, oh, if you want the fully grown clone, you have to buy the special attachment for that. So he puts in the order to get the attachment to fix it, to fix the kid, and the kid is typical annoying, whatever little kid, and him and Petey are not getting along. So Petey tosses him out, and Dogman happens upon him, and so Dogman takes him into his home and adopts him, and him and Dogman develop a relationship. And yeah,
And he's his sidekick now.
and so there's a bit later on where he program basically. There's a really funny bit where the commissioner like remember that time you fought that evil fish that somehow gained super intelligence, became super duper evil. He says it like kind of out of nowhere. There's this big long speech where he says this backstory. So Pete gets the fish and brings it back to life and makes it super evil. And so Dogman and Petey now have to team up to stop the evil fish, and it's very much the good guy and the bad guy have to team up. And yeah, I imagine if you're a fan of these books, that was probably a big deal. But it's really cute. The resolution is really cute. There's a enemies to lovers trope in there that totally works. That's totally fun, totally funny. The jokes are funny. It's exactly our sense of humor. Like I said, if you like the Captain Underpants movie, you're totally gonna dig this. It's really funny, really solid. I had a great time. It was a great way to start my week. That's it. That's my last movie. Jordan, what's our final movie this week?
Our final movie of the week is The Bad Guys 2.
Oh, I want to see that movie. Is it good? Is it better than the first one?
I had a lot of fun with it. Something that I kind of came to realize as I was watching it, though, which is not a spoiler. I don't feel there's no guilt for me saying this. It's just an opinion on the franchise itself, which is that I came to realize that the Bad Guys franchise is if you took Despicable Me and combined it with Zootopia.
I can see why you say that.
Specifically, the only reason I say Zootopia is just because they're animals.
I can see why you'd say that.
But like when you think about like the first one is they're bad guys who ultimately become good guys by the end of the movie. The second one of the movies is them as good guys and the fallout of them being good guys.
Yep.
And then the third one, do you care if I spoil anything?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Um, so at the end of this movie,
I assume everyone
um,
becomes friends at the end.
basically kind of, but
It's a
at the
kids
end of
movie.
this one, the police chief comes to the bad guys and is like they've stopped the other people, the new ones for this movie, and the police chief is like, so because of the help that you gave us stopping them from stealing all the world's gold, the secret agency wants to recruit you. And they basically set up the idea that they're going to be spies in the next one,
Of course they do.
which is literally what Despicable Me does.
Yep, yep, yep.
So, like,
Yes, it does.
if I didn't already at the beginning of this see the parallels, I definitely do
See,
now.
I love.
That being said, it doesn't bother me, and I had a great time, and I had a lot of fun with this, and I want a third one. So I don't care, but I just thought it was funny. Like, I definitely
This one did
see that.
okay. The thing I recall from the trailers of this one is it looks a lot cheaper than the first one. It does not look like it had the same budget as the first one did. That's the number one thing I remember about the marketing for this being like, oh, this just doesn't look as good as the first one. So that's why I was curious
But
if it's as good as the first one.
let's Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that it was that it's based on a book series.
Yes, yes, it is.
Sorry, I wanna know, so I'm gonna tell you. Oh, according to this, it had roughly the same, if not a little bit bigger of a budget,
Huh,
actually.
really?
The original budget it has a range. It says between 69 to 80 million.
That's just all I
And
remember about the trailer.
the bad guys 2 budget, it says 80 million.
I remember the trailer not really enthusing me, but
But
also being like
do you want to guess what for Bad Guys 2, what the box office is?
double,
So it has a budget of 80 million
double.
and the box office is 239.3 million. So I think it's going to get a third
It's
one.
probably gonna get a third one. Yeah, it's quite a popular franchise. They definitely DreamWorks is real good at creating franchises. That is for sure. That is for sure.
Um,
Wait, this was a
but
DreamWorks. So did your little DreamWorks? Because my little DreamWorks logo, it had the good robot in it, giving the little DreamWorks guy a fist bump, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
I think so. I didn't pay enough attention to that,
I love
but
the new DreamWorks logo. I love how it includes all the characters. It's really fun.
I also enjoy that. Um, but no, yeah, I don't want to give away all the plots and all the things that happen in it because again, you want to watch this.
I
So,
do want to watch this.
um, all I will end this with is I
They're the
had fun.
bad
I
guys.
had fun. I very much am down for a third one,
I watched the third one. I'm gonna watch the second one day.
and that's my thoughts.
That's the end of that. So that's the end of Jordan's birthday, Jordan. Let's all together now. 5, 6, 7, 8. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday to you. Ho, happy birthday, dear Jordan. That's coming on the 18th. That's the day he was actually born. But next week, everybody, you're probably wondering what's next week, and you're probably all guessing that it's the Christmas special.
I
Because
mean,
we don't get another
yeah,
episode before Christmas, so it's the Christmas
Chris,
episode.
Christmas is coming up. Logically, it just it
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. It's we don't. I think Christmas is in the middle of the week, so we don't have to get to do Christmas on Christmas this year. So it's next week is Christmas, so it's Christmas movies, and Jordan just as a little sneak preview, Jordan is going to be watching a movie called Hot Frosty. It's called
It's a
Hot
funny
Frosty.
sounding name.
It is. It's
It's a funny sounding
It's a
name.
pretty funny movie. And then after that, it's our New Year's special, and we don't take a break off during the holidays, so we're gonna be rolling right on into the new year. I got some fun ideas for the new year.
Trolling and rolling.
That's next week. That's the Christmas special. Next week, look forward to Christmas special. Jordan, we're gonna find you.
Typically I do Minecraft Mondays unless there's some extraneous reason that stops me from doing it. And I do that on my Twitch, Zethgore187.
I
Also this.
I do this, and
And
I'm on.
occasionally a conversation.
Spur of the moment conversation. New episode. Oh yeah, we didn't. We did. Did we tease that
I
we have a
briefly teased that there might be another episode
we
coming
might
up, but
have a
I didn't say who, I didn't say what,
we,
I didn't.
we have plans for multiple episodes, but we definitely have one in the can that you may or may not see on Christmas or Christmas Eve. Probably Christmas Eve. So then you can see potentially that episode and then pick
On Christmas
whatever.
Day, you can open up the gift of a new episode and watch it with your family instead of spending time with them.
Exactly. You can find me on TikTok. I'm Justin Spurr on TikTok.
The Tiki Talkie?
You can find this show, a Spur of the Moment P on the Tickety Talkies. You can email the show. It's Justin's business. That's how I do all my correspondence for the show. Tell me you want to be on the show in the email, or you just tell me how you doing in the email. It's Justin's business. You can join the Discord, support us on Patreon. I think that's it. If you want to see last week's episode, which was big twist, you click the box on the left, which I'm sure is probably going to pop up or has popped up at some point. If you just want to see what, Jordan?
A video recommended by the YouTube algorithm.
Which box did they click?
The right.
The right.
The left? The
right.
right.
The
The
right.
right. It was right. It was right, right?
Right.
Right.
It was right.
It
Jordan,
was right.
How many videos a week do we put out?
Every day.
Every single day there's a new video for you, nom 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 content. Hit subscribe. That's why you
Because
should hit
he
subscribe.
made you some content.
Justin gave you his favorite nom nom nom. Take
Justin
all that
gave you the
content. 7 days a week, new content. And probably next week, probably gonna have a video about how angry Lilo and Stitch made me. I hated that movie, Jordan. I hated it. It was filled with so much rage. That's coming. But if you don't want to do that, you can just leave this episode a like and comment and do all the fun. Hit the bell. Do all that stuff.
Punch that bell. Hit that subscribe button. Make a comment.
Do all this stuff. And we'll see
Do
you
the
all
thing.
next week. Have a good day, everybody. We are out. We're
So
going to go
long,
get pizza.
and thanks for all the fish.